Oh yeah, you already know what it is. This is what we got going on right now. But hi everyone, welcome to another live stream. Had some technical difficulties there. The freaking
Hi everyone.
it.
Welcome
Oh,
to
why
another
am I
live
hearing
stream. Had some
myself? Oh
technical.
my god. Already off to a wonderful start. I fucking hate my life. Um, so give me a second here as I get this properly set up. All right. Sorry, you guys. All right. Can everyone still see and hear? Hoping that's a yes. Don't worry, I'll be checking the chat in just a minute. Yeah, I hurt myself because I pulled up the thing so I could be in the chat with you guys. Whenever I posted like, "Hey, I'll be in there in a few minutes," because it wasn't showing in the little thing I have going over here. All right, so right now this is going to be where I'm going to keep this. I kind of wish I would have set up some more guys over here, but it is what it is at this point. Um, yeah, let me get into the chat for a minute. Um, then we'll kind of get going with everything. So, hello everyone. Let me see. I'm just trying to find where, let's see. Triton tagged me, start a live stream on time challenge if possible. That's just me not being able to manage my time super well. It would have happened on time, but again, the technical difficulties got in the way because for some reason, whenever I would click go live and try to have it go horizontal, my phone or the phone or the YouTube app was just like, yeah, fuck you, no. So, this is where the fun begins. The goat arrived. Thank you. Hey Talon. Hey Talon. Hello Cyberlight. Hello Hob Channel. Q. Yes. J Rock. Yes. I get that Beast War stuff in. Yes, sir. I see in here. Okay, good. Talon and Theoremist, the only Transformers YouTubers I like. Hey, thank you. Maybe it'd be cool to do something with Theoremist sometime. Even though I'm not gonna lie, I can be a little critical of some of the fan theories here and there. I do like the guy; he's pretty cool. JMI Filmmaker, I'm here. Hello. So as long as you guys can still see and hear, with my setup on my laptop, it looks like everything's good. So hopefully everything will go well. As you can see here, I have, let's see, G1 Ironhide, Beast Wars Silverbolt, IDW. Damn it, what's the comic? Oh my God, Stormbringer, Megatron. Age of Extinction Stinger, who will get transformed at some point. He would have been the focus of my live last week if he got here on time, but no, he had to get here on Monday instead of Saturday, so that's fun. But hey, he's here now. Of course, Yellow Park Megatron, so gotta do my thing with him. And then I forget what the third-party company is, but it's basically a DLX drift, and I like him a lot. He's pretty cool. And of course, yeah, we got 3 Voyager Primes. We have Defender Prime from Revenge of the Fallen Nest subline. We have it was a Walmart exclusive 2-pack of the Hunt for Decepticons Voyager Prime. He came with, there was a repaint of the '07 landmine, Commodore, I think was his name. And then the Dark of the Moon Voyager Fireburst Optimus. We were talking about them in the Discord server a few nights ago. And I forget which one we were talking about specifically. I think it was Dark of the Moon at the very least. And I was just like, let me mess with these guys. I thought it could be kind of cool to sort of have the 3 main Voyager molds from the original movie lines. Kind of wish I had Studio Series here to sort of complete that a little bit more, but hey, it is what it is. Also, you guys, I need to share the live stream elsewhere just to be like, hey guys, it's coming out if you want to you know, join. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I apologize, but so give me a second so I can kind of do like the tags and whatnot. While I'm doing this, let me kind of, again, I'm not looking at the chat, unfortunately. I will in a few minutes. But let me kind of go over what I was hoping to do here. So obviously, did the poll in my community post for, you know, like, hey, what would you guys like to see? And you know, the main, I forget what the number was. I'll check. But, you know, the winner was doing hot takes. So... because I thought that could be a good idea, especially since I am taking a while getting out the next Hot Takes video that I know a lot of you guys really want to see. I believe it's Arctic Warriors, who I don't know, or Warrior, I can't remember 100% the username. My apologies. But that really wants to see the next one. So, you know, I thought this could be a good way to sort of do that with like in the meantime, because the video is coming along decently. It's just I'm having to work on it along with a lot of other stuff. Like right now, I'm kind of splitting my time between working on it and the full Dark of the Moon retrospective. And if I'm being honest, the Dark of the Moon retrospect. Oh Lord, one of my cats is starting. Penny, come on! You're gonna become famous at this point for being the one that disrupts everything. But damn, I totally forgot what the hell I was saying. Penny, come on! All right. So Talon Productions, the only Transformers YouTubers I like. Damn. Let's see, Galvatron's Revenge. Oh Lord, Bad Last Night looks like a masterpiece. That's, yeah, that's pretty fair. Granted, I guess a poorly done fan film, you know, isn't gonna look good to even a bad movie, or compared to a bad movie. But Zach's World Productions, yo, hello. Eutherimus and John Pattison, the holy trifecta of Bayverse on YouTube. I like him too. I commented on his video about Bay coming back to direct, and you know, he mentioned, or I mentioned, damn it, I forget what, because it was about Bay Prime. Of course, I mentioned like, hey, you know, I did a decent little video on Bay Prime. Maybe you could check it out. He's like, I think I might, or I should. So, and now I don't know if he actually has, but it'd be cool. Let's see. Bayverse Insecticon toys watching. Hey! I like that toy. Fun story, I bought one off of eBay and it came missing a leg, and I was like, what the hell? What's going on here? Turns out I bought one, obviously, that was missing the leg, and I just didn't notice that in the pictures. So yeah. I argued with the guy who thinks Bay Prime is a psycho on TikTok. Well, fuck him. And remember, feel free to use this argument. By definition, he is not a psychopath. He does not lack empathy. You know, he does not lack remorse and all that kind of stuff. And someone tried to argue with me on TJ Omega's recent video on like the Bayverse being back or whatever it was. And they were just like, they don't mean the actual definition. It's like, then why use the word? Why? Words have meaning. Words have definitions. If you don't mean the word, don't use the fucking word. Hello, Love Gun says hello. Hello. All right, so I will say, because Reptilo posted this, so with the hot takes, I realized I started on that and did not continue. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little scatterbrained right now. But so with the hot takes, if you guys want me to do one to react to, please tag me so that I will see, you know, the orange bar, and you know, I'll know it's for me. So if you have a hot take that you want me to react to, please do the at Talon Productions or however it is. I'm not exactly sure how it works in the chat, and you know, do it that way. Don't just post it. Granted, I can see him posting his, so I guess I can start off with it. But please do it that way so that I'll know it's for me. But yeah, I'm gonna do kind of my usual thing in the videos where I give my thoughts on that being an actual hot take versus like if it might be cold or something like that. So if I call your take actually cold, please don't take that in a bad way. That's just, you know, what it might be. And then, you know, I kind of go over my opinion on said take. So that's really about it. So let me get back up here to hit. So Reptilo says, hot take number 1, if the Maximals from Rise of the Beast and Dinobots from Age of Extinction were reimagined as ancient Cybertronians that descended from those who were left stranded on Earth 17,000 years after the Primes. I'm not really I'll be honest, I'm not quite sure that's a hot take. I feel like that's more of just saying an idea, if I'm being honest. Because I'm not really sure anyone could really, like, I'm not sure that could really be argued one way or the other, you know? Sorry guys, sip of water there. Awesome cup, by the way. Pretty cool. But I don't know, that, because I don't really see how anyone could truly argue that one way or the other, you know? It's just kind of like, oh yeah, that's a cool idea. Could be done well, could be done badly. So, I don't know. I'm not really sure that is a hot take, if I'm being 100% completely honest. But I do think that's a cool idea. I had a similar idea for a like a stop motion script series I was doing like a decade ago, where the Dinobots they were like I don't want to say servants of the Primes, but you know, they're like they helped the Primes defeat the Fallen, and then like the Fallen had the Infernocons and Infernokiss on his side, because I thought with them looking fairly like demonic and stuff, that would kind of fit. Let's see. Love Gun, I wrote a whole paragraph on that in a TikTok reply section. Relatable, yep. Talon, I should do a video on Galvatron's Revenge. I'll be honest, I don't really have much to say about that one way or the other. Like, I haven't seen it. Well, I've seen bits of it, but, you know, for the most part, I haven't seen it. You know, most of my opinions, though, just based off of what I've seen, align with other people. So, like, I don't really have anything to add to the conversation. Plus, I feel like that conversation's been pretty dead since, like, not too long after it came out, to be honest. like January, February, March, something like that. So, you know, I just don't really have much to add there. Hob Channel says that there are a lot of things I disagree with John the goddamn it, Pattison? Yeah. On, but his review of Age of Extinction was phenomenal. That's kind of my same thing. There's a lot of stuff I disagree with him on, and there are some takes where I'm like, maybe this could be a little more researched, but I do like him overall. Like my friend Austin loves to bring up his point about like Optimus being stuck in the cables or something like that. But he is wrong on it because, but John is wrong on that just because, you know, we see Prime have the swords in his arms later. So I forget exactly what his point was. I think he was trying to say that like he couldn't use the swords when it's like very evident. Yes, he could. Hey, you won the argument, John or Jay Ross? That's good. Fun fact: I heard that it was Lorenzo's idea to put the Romeo and Juliet log card scene in AOE. We should really blame him for that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it has ever been said to be Lorenzo, but I have heard that was more of an on-the-day thing and not specifically like in the script or anything like that. So I don't blame Aaron Kruger. I mean, I guess you could to an extent blame Michael Bay just because, you know, he let that be filmed, he let it stay in the movie. But if that was like a, you know, a producer or some sort of like executive, dare I say, mandate, and I guess there's not too much he can really do. Oh Lord, I might butcher this name. Kavishka says hi. Hello. I low-key forgot who Lorenzo is. Bayverse fans, rise up. Hell yeah. Hot take. So Q says G1 doesn't translate well into live action. The Bumblebee designs only fit on Cybertron, not Earth. I'd say that could be kind of a hot take. Oh my god. Alright, Bayverse haters just feel like the worst rage baiters ever. Honestly, yeah. I like TJ Omega, but him slagging off Bayformers, especially the designs, at what feels like every opportunity pisses me off. Yeah, he does seem kind of like one of those people where it's just like, oh, like, I'm not sure he goes out of his way to be a dick about the movies. I'm sure it is just his opinions, but sometimes it's just like, damn, bro, do you have to be so fucking negative? Oh no, why did I do that? Can these even fucking, oh, it's the other way. I haven't messed with these in a bit, so don't fucking judge me. But, alrighty. When people claim Michael Bay is the biggest problem when it came to the Bayformers, always point out Lorenzo's the biggest problem with the movies. Yeah, he's definitely up there. Alright, here we go. At Talon Productions, the people who say that Bayverse Megatron is a lackey are wrong. He doesn't work for the Fallen, Sentinel, and Quintessa. He worked with them. I will agree with that. I guess I could see that being a bit of a hot take with how some people like to talk about Bay Megatron sometimes. But yeah, I'm with you, because the Fallen, like, that was a very, that was a student and teacher thing. When he says master, it's not like he's a slave or something like that. It is, god damn it. It is a master and apprentice relationship. Think Darth Vader and Palpatine. Granted, that was a lot more, slave and slave master type situation, but still. Not to mention, like I've pointed this out before, I've always felt like they have a pretty decent relationship, like I don't know, like they work together well. They seem to respect each other to a point. Of course, the the other media, like the games, the novels, and whatnot, the comic adaptation that had the original stuff for it, kind of sour that perception a little bit, I suppose. But yeah, that I don't know. To me, just the way it comes off in the movie, it's nothing super negative. So yeah, it never felt like he was truly working for the Fallen. Especially because one of my biggest things, the Fallen never directly orders Megatron on screen. That does not happen. Skipping over one, though, that does happen with Quintessa. So that's one I might actually disagree with. I do feel like he more so was working for her than with her. Especially because she does order him around, the Megatron, kill her. I don't know, I definitely, it definitely felt like he was a bit more subservient in that role compared to, the Fallen or Sentinel. Now with Sentinel, like, I feel like it wasn't that way, but it was going to get there, which is, why Carly was pretty correct in, what she said. Let me find where that missile went. Let's see. Arguing with Bay Prime haters is like arguing with a brick wall. Yeah, it's fucking true. Arguing with a black hole? Yeah. Lorenzo literally didn't want Peter Cullen for the 07 movie, and Bay had to argue with him to get Cullen on audition. Yeah, remember, Bay was the one that pushed for Cullen, so anytime people love to kind of bring up any hate for him on Peter Cullen, he was the one that pushed. Lorenzo, actually, if I remember correctly, because Bay was going to get his way about Peter Cullen voicing Prime, he actually stopped Cullen from voicing Ironhide as well. Now, I'm okay with that, given the Ironhide that we got in the movies, but yeah. All right. At Hot Takes, Jesus Christ. At Talon Productions, Hot Takes number 2. Do you think the Knights from last night should have looked more like the early concept art, where they had more of an alien aesthetic design? Again, I feel like that's just more of a question than a hot take. But just to answer the question, let's see. I would have preferred if they did have much more of the alien aesthetic. That would have been pretty cool in my mind. But it helps them not look quite so, like, I don't know, humanoid, I guess. Even though I do like the Knights designs for the most part. I kind of like their sort of almost stone-like kind of look. I do think that having the more alien side would have been cool. And would just help fit in a bit more in general with the Bay aesthetic, especially with like Revenge of the Fallen or Dark of the Moon. So yeah, I would have been very fine with that. Give me a second, you guys. I will respond. I don't know where I was going with that. Please don't hurt me. Getting Prime here with his guns. Probably should have done it the other way so that the trigger could be on the outside, but hey, that's what it is. Oh yeah, I forgot to actually flip the backpack, right? There we go. There we go. You know what? He's definitely outdated and whatnot, but I still think this original Voyager mold is pretty cool. All right. Triton at Talon Productions. Bayformers gave us the best ever Ironhide design and the best ever sideswipe. That's probably, I would say, more of a warm take, because there's a lot of people that love the Bayverse Ironhide and sideswipe. I know there are people that will never let Bay anything be the best of something from Transformers, so I could definitely see that being, you know, again, just like a warm take. Not super hot, but not cold either. Hard agree. See, Transformers having the amount of screen time they do in the films makes us appreciate the action even more. Yep. I'm glad I caught this one. Again, I'll say, anyone, if you're going to post a hot take, please tag me. Hot take, Bumblebee should have stayed in the high octane mode in Age of Extinction. I would have been okay with that. I love that mode. I'm not sure that's a hot take either, because I know a lot of people love that design, that particular vehicle mode, so I'm sure that'd be fairly popular, I'd say. Arctic Warriors at Talon Productions. Okay, my hot take, all of the 12 Constructicon designs are peak and unique, and the only issue I had with them was that they should have personality like Megatron, Soundwave, and Starscream. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a warm take, 'cause I know there's some people that don't like how weird they are, but, you know, I would agree and say that they are peak. And I mean, them not having personality isn't really an issue with the designs themselves. That's more of a, obviously like a character thing. So, you know, I'm not sure that plays too much into the, you know, how peak and unique they are. But yeah, I'm with you. Q, I've not heard of this person, but fuck him. Let's see. Love Gun, my hot take, Bumblebee should have died in the last night to complete the tradition of the 017 dying in every movie. That'd be kind of wild. I mean, could you imagine if that might have been the ultimate, like, just bad thing that happened with Nemesis Prime, is that he killed Bumblebee? Doubt it would ever happen, but would have been wild. And I mean, not sure where that ranks on the hot or cold scale, but would have been neat. At Talon Productions, I actually think Revenge of the Fallen and Age of Extinction outstands Dark of the Moon in terms of action. I can see that being a bit of a hot take, but honestly, I agree with you. Maybe not so much Age of Extinction. Even though I do think something like the Dinobot Charge might be better than a lot of stuff in Dark of the Moon. Even though you get the awesome highway chase and just most of everything in Chicago at the end. But I think Revenge of the Fallen has the best action out of all of the Bay movies. If for nothing else than the forest battle alone. Granted, like Bumblebee versus Rampage, the opening Shanghai scene, so much of that movie is so good. Even for as short as it is, I think Optimus versus Megatron the Fallen is pretty decent. If for nothing else than just like the brutality of the fight and seeing Jet Power Prime just sort of do his thing. Do your thing, cuz. Have you ever seen that awful Texas Chainsaw 3D movie? Hot take, Galvatron and the Bayverse should probably be separate from Megatron. Basically being crazier and better than Megatron. Not sure where to rank that one on the scale, if I'm being honest. But that's one I could get behind. I remember back before The Last Night came out, I was wanting Galvatron to be separate. that obviously didn't happen. I think I kind of felt like that whenever we first learned that Galvatron was going to be in in Age of Extinction as well. Can't really remember my exact thoughts during that time, unfortunately. But yeah, I actually agree with Love Gun. I'd make Optimus snapping out of Tessa's control work way better, give a lot more emotional weight than Final Boss. Yeah, true. Let's see. Total 5 alarm take. 5 alarm. I'm not sure I understand the reference. Don't judge me. But MBH deserved worse than just get like banned or leave TFW. I mean, with the way she fucking treated people, I'd probably agree. Just her attitude, and again, that big thing, because that was Austin responded to her, and she posted that big ass thing about, you know, oh, you guys deserve to get your heads stomped in, blah blah blah. I'm way kinder than to you guys than you deserve, this and that. Just fuck her, dude. Stupid fucking bitch. Probably shouldn't say that out loud. I'm sorry. I feel like Last Night is actually okay and not good, but I like it more than AoE. Nah. I mean, hey, if you like it more than Age of Extinction, more power to you, but I just can't agree with that myself. I do not care for The Last Night. I can have fun with it. I do think it, you know, if you're in the right mindset, it can be a fun movie. But, nah, I just feel like, even though it definitely has its issues, like just categorically, I feel like Age of Extinction is a better movie. But hey, that kind of stuff is subjective at the end of the day. So if you think it's better, more power to you. Hot Takes 3. For Unicron's origins in the Bayverse trilogy, he would have been created by the creators and the Allspark, but as a... Oh, Lord. Let's see, but as a corrupted creation due to the malfunction of the cube. That could have been pretty cool. Again, not quite sure that's like a legitimate hot take, but still pretty cool. Does anyone think Rise of the Beast is just a watered-down, crappy copy of RTF? Yeah, I've always kind of thought that. You know, you got the big, like one of the big characters that dies. You know, you have the whole ancient enemy thing. Well, not just that one of the big characters dies, but then like sort of a plot point is them being resurrected. You know, they travel to a different country, this and that. So yeah, I could definitely see that. Definitely see the similarity there. Some of them could be maybe seen as a bit more like surface level, but I don't know. I see it. Quintessa didn't give Megatron an order but called for help. Hop Channel, I disagree, man. She said, and I quote, Megatron kill her. Like, I mean, that, you know, it could definitely be both. But I mean, that's definitely an order. Because even if it was a cry for help, she was the one in charge. So I don't know. For me, that's definitely an order, a bossing around moment, which is still kind of my key point. There was that, you know, in order or cry or help or not, that was still her telling him what to do, and he listened. Whereas that never happened with the Fallen. Give me a second, you guys. His friggin' shoulder pads on the Hunt for Decepticons Prime being a little annoying. God damn. Kind of reminding me why I'm not really a huge fan of this mold, if I'm being completely honest. Oh, I haven't gotten to the fucking arms. Let me keep going down here. Didn't Megatron have the same mark as Nemesis Prime? Always assumed he was brainwashed, controlled by Quintessa as well. He did, although I feel like he had a bit more free will. Because he just seemed to be acting normal compared to Optimus, who was very, you know, not himself. So that whole thing's kind of weird. It's like maybe you know, like her influence over Megatron was just listening to her more. Because I mean, I really feel like you could take the red mark off of him, and he would, like, there really wouldn't be a difference. He would just be acting like himself. Yeah, I just always thought that was a bit weird. Because again, Optimus is clearly out of character as Nemesis Prime. You know, Cade says, you know, that, you know, that's not Optimus. But yeah.
Then Megatron. Yeah. Oh wait, shit. Heck, that's BS. Love gun. Bro. Hot take: Rise of the Beast Prime is madder than Bay Prime. Rise of the Beast Prime literally was disappointed. Yeah, no, I agree. Granted, that does seem like a fucking hot take. So I do think that is a hot one, but yeah. Let's see. Since the Allspark is known for creating rogue Transformers, which could have been a decent concept for the creation of Terracons if they were canon in the Bayverse.
Yeah. I like to think that they're not so much rogue as they are just like feral, I guess. Granted, it'd be kind of weird to imagine like Optimus being created and he turns out feral, but like I always just kind of assumed they were just, you know, acting on instinct in a lot of ways. Granted, since everything we see that the Allspark gives life to is Earth stuff, I always kind of like the idea of being of like them being quote unquote bad because of like possibly Megatron's DNA, because you know all Earth technology was reverse engineered from Megatron. I'm not saying any of you guys have. I know that's something that tends to be forgotten in the big movies. You know, space flight cars all reverse engineered by studying him. NBE-1. That's what we call it. Austin says Rise of the Beast Prime is more bloodthirsty than Bay Prime. Yes. Because Rise of the Beast Prime has one more example of, you know, being bloodthirsty than Bay Prime, which was 0. Oh, hot take: Ironhide's death and the Autobot death of Bayformers were much better than G1 because at least it was not done because they needed new toys. Unlike G1 where characters were killed off for new toys. Yep. I mean, Ironhide's death is stuck with people. Ratchet's death is stuck with people. The only argument for that could be Prime in the '86 movie because I mean that was kind of a big deal back then. So I feel like if you don't count him, sure, but I feel like at the very least G1 Prime's death is on par with all of that. If I'm being honest, probably succeeds it. But still. Eric M, I prefer Megatron as a pure evil villain. I could see that being a hot take, but I agree. He's just one of those characters I feel like, I don't know, he doesn't need this super redeemable like arc or anything. That's cool for certain versions, but it's happened a lot lately and kind of with villains in general. And like maybe my hot take is like I just want bad guys to be bad guys sometimes. I don't need them to have this super complicated, like, you know, oh, I'm so fucking sad, and like, you know, everyone deserves change. Like, yeah, sure, that's fine, but sometimes it's like, you just need to have a good guy and a bad guy to go bang and, you know, boom, boom, bah, explosions, oh, fuck, they're dead. Like, I don't know. For real, he literally wanted Scourge dead even when B came back to life. High Octane is peak Bumblebee, yeah. And Definitive B, yeah. Hot take: G1 Starscream is the worst and most annoying version of Starscream ever. I could see that, and definitely a hot take, because, I mean, for better or worse, he is full of personality. And hey guys, whether it's filling my cup, time to get the blast going. But, yeah. Ooh, it's good. I had that in the freezer for a little bit. Gets super cold. I don't really like any of it to freeze. Fun fact for me, I don't like slushies or ices or anything like that. But, so he should have like, looked like that in the later half of AoE and TLK. Oh, talking about, B? Yeah. Let's see. At Talon Productions, Dark of the Moon script is heavily slept on.
there are a bunch of layers and themes in the story that a lot of people either don't notice or don't want to acknowledge. Honestly, agree. That could definitely be a hot take because dumb Bay movies, script work, all that kind of bullshit. But like, I agree with you. Dark of the Moon has a lot going on, and that's why like I feel like Aaron Kruger gets a fair like a bit of unfair hate. So I feel like his writing isn't the worst thing in the world. I do feel like the scripts for Dark of the Moon, and I'll say it, Age of Extinction as well, are not bad. You could argue the execution, but I don't feel like the scripts are bad. A MechTech axe gun. Pretty neat, I guess. Oh yeah, I did, oh wait, no, this one locked. I think I took the spring out of it anyway. Even though I'm not gonna lie, I feel like it does look a little dumb as an axe. Because it's just like, got all this bulk around it, but hey, it is what it is. Talon hot take, high octane B is overrated. Oh. I'd say that is a hot take. Q, why would you say it's overrated? I'm curious. So you have no idea how much I agree with you. The beef with Megatron and Starscream got very stale quickly when watching the G1 cartoon. Yeah. Especially when it's like Megatron will fucking trip. It's like, I'm the leader now. Like, oh, okay, guy. It's funny sometimes. But still. Telling us to get our heads bashed in. Fuck Nova Burnhill. Yeah, how that didn't get her banned. It fucking blows my mind that the TFW mods just like let that one fucking slide. Part of why I've really kind of pulled back from interacting a fuck ton on that site. Let's see, at Talon Productions, I think Megatron should have looked more like Zero Geo's design on DeviantArt and Dark of the Moon, since it shows how he's still preparing himself while being vengeful. I'll have to check that one out. I don't immediately recall that design, but I assume it could have been cool. I'll try to check that out here in a bit. Bayverse should have added more Seekers. Yeah, I could agree with that. I wouldn't really call that a hot take, but I could definitely agree with that one. I always thought an Acid Storm could have looked cool. Also, fun thing for you guys. I've mentioned this in the server plenty of times, but I think the way they could have done this different Seekers in the movie the movie deserves. Jesus Christ, the movie verse is with the tattoos like Starscream has. Like take Thundercracker and Skywarp, because Starscream's tattoos are black or like black and white. He's got the occasional like white one here and there. So take their typical colors, like Thundercracker being like blue and red, Skywarp being purple and black, and make the tattoos those colors to kind of give that sort of thing. Maybe it wouldn't have as much visual distinction between them if they're still a base like sort of silver-ish like Starscream is, but I don't know, like having the base like silver-ish body with the the blue and red tattoos and the black and purple tattoos could look cool. Then like Acid Storm, have him be green, all that good stuff. The Coneheads, I'm not sure. I guess you could get them more of Coneheads. I just wonder if that might not look a little too goofy in live action, but who knows. Who's NBH? Someone who used to be on TFW that was just a complete Bay hater, like anything even vaguely to do with the movies, she would just show up and hate, and it was just really annoying. And she loved to like passive aggressively insult people, but do it in a way that wouldn't get her punished by the mods or anything. And then we found out she used to have like a DeviantArt where she was like into feet and did like feet pics and stuff, and like so we poked fun at that. If you search Nova Burnhill DeviantArt, like it's gone, but you can still find the images on Google search. So, but fuck her. Yeah, like Austin said, was vitriolic and hateful. Yeah, G1 cartoon also had moments of racism, like oh yeah, Thief of the Night. Yep. Talon Productions hot take: the Bayverse didn't earn a cinematic universe. You know what? I could agree with that. And I wouldn't really say that's a hot take either. I feel like most people would agree. It should have just been a series. It was very weird to try to turn it into a cinematic universe in the 5th movie, where a lot of your main big characters, especially on the villain side, are dead. So, yeah. Oh, Sunstorm in the game? Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, Austin's doing, or has done a good job here bringing up what Nova Burnhild was, so... On the right, Cryo, the right hip of your Revenge of the Fallen Megatron broke. That sucks. Blitzwing should have been the main villain. I feel like someone said this kind of recently. They should have kept the voice or Starscream voice filter from 07 or the game. I could be down with that. Blitzwing at the very least should have been in the movie more. Sideways 52, yeah, the hammer did just kind of reappear, because it's like, did he have this all this time? What's going on here? Maybe they should have had something where he found it in Burton's castle. Thinking about it, that would have been a quick way to acknowledge it. Alright, Hob Channel says, at Talon Productions, Quintessa is underrated. Her mysterious aura made her an interesting villain, and she's the only villain to achieve her goal of bringing Cybertron life. Doesn't that make her badass? I would definitely say calling her underrated is a bit of a hot take. I do feel like in general she is kind of disliked. Or at least just kind of like, oh yeah, the Last Night villain, whatever. I don't mind Quintessa. I don't think she really sucks. It's just like most things in that movie, she's not great. But to be honest, I do not mind her. Underrated, maybe. Badass, I don't know. Because she kind of has the same thing with The Fallen, where it's just like she really does not get enough screen time. And like, I guess her brainwashing Optimus Prime and having both him and Megatron under her control is kind of cool. So, I could, to certain degrees, I can see it. I haven't transformed Dark of the Moon Prime in a while. I always kind of thought, though, that this was a fun figure. Again, not the most accurate in the world, but fun. And gave a bit more of a new perspective, I guess, on Bay Prime toys. Plus, I thought a lot of the, like the solar panel stuff was pretty neat. Alright. Oh yeah, like I also was saying, it wasn't even a ban, it was just like a, hey, her account's deleted. At Talon Productions, Bayverse Megatron would beat G1 Megatron in a fight and tear him apart. I would definitely like to think so. I would think that's a bit of a hot take, but again, I would like to think so. Bayverse Comics Megatron would give him the jazz treatment, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, I love Bay Megatron in the comics. A guy who's unable of being happy, damn, what a name, says Transformers fans need to stop acting like there was ever a main timeline like Marvel and stop wanting everything to be a copy of a specific timeline. G1 was never the main timeline, nor was... Dude, yes. I do... Wow, damn. Yeah, no, I am 100% with you, and that's a big thing for me, and I actually plan on doing a video... Oh, there goes part of the grill. A video on this at some point, because, yeah, Transformers is not Marvel or DC or anything like that, and too many fans treat it like it is, and especially with stuff like the characters are main thing. It's like, yeah, there's never been a main universe. You could maybe argue G1 was for a while, because Beast Wars did continue it, and by extension Beast Machines did. But technically, Beast Machines is the last entry in the original G1 universe, and that ended in what, 2000? So it's like G1 hasn't been a thing for a long ass time. Now we've had so many alternate universes and stuff, and It's just wild to me that people always try to treat these things as or just like that. Like G1's always been the main thing. Like sure, G1 was first. Again, everything needs a first draft. Thank you, Austin, for that great fucking comparison. One thing that sucks is my Dark of the Moon Prime. I had the same thing that happened with the Insecticon I was talking about on eBay. I didn't realize it's missing the knee pads whenever I bought it. So that kind of sucked as a discovery, but it doesn't really harm the look in my eyes. Although I am now forgetting that I do kind of dislike his arms. Damn. But hey, he's got this awesome gun. Oh yeah, the gorilla arms. Yeah, in general. Fun stuff. At Talon Productions, hot take, Galvatron should have been the villain and stayed as Galvatron, both a different design in 5. I am with you. Probably a bit of a hot take since people didn't seem to care for Galvatron for the most part. I'm a Age of Extinction Galvatron enjoyer, but I would have loved to have seen him both stay and keep at least a similar design. Also, I see some guy called Afterburner who kept on hating the Bayverse and always negative on TFW. Q, I wonder if you're talking, wait, Afterburner, I think I know who you're talking about, because, no, I was going to say there's another guy called Burnout, Autobot Burnout, that's really annoying. Yeah, there's no clear canon to Transformers. Oh boy, you'd probably really hate Megatron in my Transformers universe. Oh no. Let's see. Hot take, like Barricade being the original character from the live-action movie that transitioned into more Transformers media, Nitro Zeus should be part of the main Decepticons. The character is unique. At the very least, Barricade, he wasn't like... You know, he at least used a name, because it wasn't like the original G1 Barricade, like a Micromaster or something. But then you had like Energon Barricade, who was a part of one of the combiners, I think Bruticus. So it's like there have been Barricades previously, but yeah, like the movie obviously redefined that character and has basically taken possession of the name ever since. Kind of like Knockout and Prime. There were previous Knockouts, but that is Knockout now, you know? But I'd be down with a Nitro Zeus like that. I always like Nitro Zeus, even though to me, I know this is kind of the point of why people like him, because he does stand out from the other Decepticons, but sometimes I feel like he stands out a little too much when you compare. At Talon Productions, I'm glad the ending of Dark of the Moon got changed. Definitely a hot take with how some people talk about the original ending, but I am with you, and you will hear my thoughts more on a video soon. Talon. I was at a church cookout at a park, and I walked down the trail and ended up missing the entire thing because it was so long. Oh, shit. Damn. I'm sorry, Lance. I will say a mild, kind of cold take. Transformers Energon Prime is worse than Bayverse Prime. The dude comes off as a jackass. Plus, the dude just hit Ironhide all because he wanted to deploy with Prime. I could see that kind of... I guess, yeah, kind of cold take. But yeah, Energon Prime's not great, both in design and character. Such a downgrade from Armada. Megatron is irredeemable in the movies and comics. Agreed! That's why I'll go ahead and spoil one part of my argument with the ending being changed. That's why it never made sense to me why people were like, oh, the comic or novel ending was better. Because if that happened in the movies, you guys would be complaining that it would be out of character for Megatron. Sure, you could call it character development. To me, it doesn't make sense given how he was. Especially, I mean, in Dark of the Moon, he's not really repentant. You know, screaming, "This is my planet," and then trying to offer a truce just would not work for me at all. Cut ending from Dark of the Moon is inferior to the final one. Glad you agree. My hot take is that I don't like Windblade, the Talon you may already know. I mean, I could see. I would say that's a bit more of a warm take, Lance, just because, you know, I know a lot of people that don't like Windblade. Maybe not personally, no, but I have seen that sentiment before. Hot take, Human Alliance arcade games is a better sequel to Age of Extinction and The Last Night. Damn. I've only played those a couple times. They're fun, though. Hot take, Michael Bay should have used the Stunticons as part of the KSI drones. That would have been cool, and I remember that a lot of people were saying that they thought the Stunticons were going to be in the movie. There was a lot of stuff just saying Galvatron was going to be Motormaster.
My hot take: Bayverse Megatron is irredeemable. Blood use hatchlings as shields to not get shot by Optimus back on Cybertron. Oh yeah, that's right, he did. I could pull up the comic panel. I have it. Oh, dude, trust me, I remember the one you're talking about. Killer Boy Jazz. Yep. TF Cinematic Universe would be cool. All right, I'm at the moment I'm gonna try to stick with just the ones I can tell are highlighted. So you know, like the ones with the orange at Talon Productions, just to catch up a little bit. You guys are posting a lot. I'm trying. All right. Rise of the Beast Optimus is a xenophobe. Yeah. We can only trust our own kind. Very sus. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's a cold take, and I feel like anyone who denies that is just being a fucking idiot. I agree with you, Reptilo, that the people who say Mudflap and Skids are racist stereotypes don't realize Mudflap's voiced by a black actor. Yeah, that's a whole thing, but we can get that's for a different video. R&D 2001 is slept on? Yes, it is. I fucking love R&D. It's so good. Not a hot take, but I find it stupid how people question Transformers having accents. Yeah, I've never had an issue with it. It can be a bit goofy sometimes. Like, I think it's kind of goofy in Transformers Cybertron, where you have the planet of Scottish giants. But, I definitely don't mind it. And I feel like, even though it could be very stereotypical or just like, shorthand, like, it can help give them a slight bit of personality without really giving them personality, if that makes sense. I don't mind. Let's see, if they kept going with the reboot continuity, I believe they would retcon Blitzwing to just be a random seeker, bring in the real one. Yeah, I could see that, especially since he doesn't get named on screen. At Talon Productions hot take, I think the creator's invasion led by Quintessel on prehistoric Earth to make Transformium could also be the source and origination of raw energon within the planet. Yeah, I could see that. Again, not quite sure that one's a hot take, just more of a cool idea, but I'm with it. Eric M, I have that DOTM Optimus Prime toy. Yeah! Oh, he's fun. He's not great. I'm not gonna lie, like, after having him in person again, I do think the arms kind of suck. But, he might be a tad odd looking, but just as a fun, just like, kind of different Bay Prime toy, I think he's neat. Hot take, live action Sideswipe should have been named Silver Streak, the alternative name for Blue Streak, due to him being a silver car. I mean, I guess I could see that being at least a warm take, because Sideswipe's pretty popular. I don't know, but just saying he should be Silver Streak because he's silver, I don't know. But hey, at least you still love him, because yeah, live action Sideswipe, great. Very excited for NPM in Sideswipe. I really hope we get to see pictures of him. Oh Lord, I hope there's been no pictures today, otherwise I'm behind on that. Hot take, if Bayverse had a Shattered Glass series, Optimus should look scary and monstrous like Trilogy and Megatron. I'd be down with that. I can see that maybe being a hot take for some, because, I could see that kind of for them, these hypothetical people, I guess, like going against kind of a thing of Shattered Glass of like, oh, it's the good guys and they look good, but they're actually bad type thing. People need to stop saying the original ending of Dark in the Moon would have been better. It does not add up all because they didn't like the actual ending with Prime killing Megatron Sentinel. Yeah. Plus, again, I gotta ask, have we ever had confirmation that the leaks from Amazon with, like, the comic is what caused the change? Like, it's reaching a point now where I'm just like, I really am starting to think that's kind of like a hearsay thing. Like, someone said that and it got popular and people ran with it. Aussie Antics and More says, at Talon Productions, the original motion picture soundtracks for 1 through 3 deserve a lot of credit for introducing a lot of casual audiences like myself to awesome bands and songs. Yeah, no, I agree. Granted, my main one has been Linkin Park, so maybe I'm not the best one to really go with this, but I mean, Linkin Park has inspired my taste in music for the most part and is my favorite band, so, you know, them being a part of Transformers has had quite an impact on me liking, you know, the types of music that I do like. Austin, hot take. Nitro Zeus is overrated as fuck. Austin, that's definitely a hot take. Because a lot of people love Nitro Zeus. But, low-key, I'm with you. It's weird, because I love Nitro Zeus, but I do feel like a lot of people kind of put him on a pedestal that he doesn't really deserve. Like, yeah, he has a bit more personality, I guess. Yeah, you know, haha, say hello to your wife for me. But, like, that's low-key kind of it. I don't know. I enjoy Nitro Zeus, but, yeah. Hot take, Dark of the Moon, Age of Extinction, The Last Night have really good humor. I would agree with you. Because, like, especially The Last Night, I think The Last Night is surprisingly funny in spots, but if you want me to be honest, I think all of the Bay movies have really good humor. I don't care what people say, even some of the more crass stuff I can find humor in. But I do feel like those especially have pretty underrated moments of like, this is genuinely funny. Hot take, Decepticon protoform designs from the movies are some of the coolest for the Bayverse. Yes, we need Studio Series figures. Yes, we do. They are pretty cool. Maybe a bit plain. But I guess that kind of just comes from the whole thing of them being generics. Also, let me go ahead and grab Stinger, inspired by Bumblebee, but better in every way. Let's see, let's move over Megatron. Move over Drift a little, put Voyager, put the Voyager Primes up here. Drift is stabbing him in the back. You're not Megatron. And imagine if they were scaled that way in the movie. And you know what? I'm going to change, let's see. Let me brighten this a little bit. Have Stinger here. I think that looks kind of cool, not gonna lie. Granted, it doesn't look great on camera, but let's see, to Spartan asks, would you say Unicron was introduced way too early in Rise of the Beast? Because I feel the same. Kinda, yeah. I don't know, because I don't mind it as an introduction to kind of build up to him actually showing up, but there are times where I'm like, damn, bro, this universe hasn't really even been properly established. We haven't even heard Megatron's name yet, let alone seen him. So, yeah. Sideways 52 at Talon Productions. Have you played the Roblox Bayverse Transformers Crossfire before it gets before it got taken down? I did not. It sucks. As much as I do like games, I don't really play any. At Talon Productions, Bayverse Devastator Superior, G1 Inferior. I am with you. Highly unpopular, but I am with you, especially in terms of design. At Talon Productions, do you know that the creator of Transformers Prime, Galvatron's Revenge, is suing people who hate his movie? That's kind of crazy. I didn't hear about that. I don't want to really get into like a whole lot of other YouTuber drama type stuff, but like, yeah, it's kind of nuts. And he's making another Transformers Prime movie with the Dinobots? Huh. You think he would have learned his lesson? Love Gun, hot take 3. Considering the existence of hatchlings, Bayformers work better with techno-organic or as a techno-organic species. Maybe. I definitely, you know, because I always really enjoyed both the aesthetic and just a portrayal of them being like, you know, and of course Sentinel would be against me phrasing it like this, but just the living machines, you know. Like, yes, they're robotic, but they, like, you can tell that they truly are alive with the way, like, things work, and I just find that super cool. But techno-organic, of course, my first thought is Beast Machines. Even though I enjoy Beast Machines, I'm not sure I really like to imagine Bay stuff being quite like that. But Transformers Cybertron or Cyber World Megatron is the best Cyber World design, says Q. I really don't know how popular or unpopular that is. I have not kept up with Cyber World at all. Let's see. Eric M. Fast speaking blur is annoying. The only good blur is Armada blur. Yes, I am with you, my guy. I love Armada blur. And yeah, I don't really care for fast speaking blur. Like my friend Josh, he's not here, but he fucking hates blur, and I'm with him. I've never cared for blur. Like animated blur is fine. Like G1 blur, like an '86 movie, and of course the show, fuck him. Q says TF1 Elita 1 is a Mary Sue girl boss character. I don't really think so. I mean, I guess I could kind of see why someone would think that, but like, I don't know. I feel like that's too like. I don't know. This is no insult to you, but I feel like it's too basic of a response, you know. I feel like just calling a female character that's capable or whatever a girl boss is one of those things that's kind of losing its meaning. Kind of like people nowadays when they call something like racist or sexist. Not saying there aren't things that aren't racist or sexist, but sometimes it's like you're just saying that. The novel ending is worse. If Megatron could have rebuilt Cybertron without the Dark and the Moon plan, why did he and Sentinel do it? Yeah. Oh, that's another good point. Yeah. Damn. Let's see. No, I love Nitro Zeus. Nitro Zeus is the goat. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Wait, what? No! Where'd it go? Fuck. Christian Prime. Hey, Talon. Forgot my hot tag post. I made this in the chat. Live action Cyclonus win? I'd be down to see a live action Cyclonus. But then the question is, which Cyclonus? Wait, I could have sworn hold on, you guys. Sorry, guys. Alright. Reptilo, at Talon Productions, hot take: the idea of Primal teaching Optimus about humanity and the meaning of more than meets the eye is more suitable and a perfect explanation of Prime's character arc in the Bayverse. Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. Hot take: Sentinel Prime should have been the villain in Age of Extinction. Interesting. Taking over the KSI Optimus Prime drone to be a Nemesis Prime instead of Megatron becoming Galvatron so it can be saved for later. I always liked the idea someone had because you see Sentinel's head in the movie. That like Megatron and Sentinel's minds would have been like melded together to make Galvatron. And that could help. That could also play into Galvatron being kind of crazy like he is in the G1 show. I always thought that was kind of an interesting idea. I'd say that might be more of a warm take. So I feel like you'd have to alter Dark in the Moon a bit for that, maybe. But then again, Megatron died in Dark in the Moon, and he was back in Age of Extinction, so who knows? Triton, despite some people claim a bunch of Bayformers designs do respect G1 OG designs. Examples are Optimus, Jazz, Starscream, and Brawl. Yes, that's actually something I've wanted to do a video on. Just kind of like Bayverse designs that reference other versions or something like that. So maybe I'll get around to that at some point. But no, I'm with you. And those are examples, others being like Ravage or Laserbeak. Megatron, I would argue, because he's still silver, and I still maintain he has at least a vague similarity of the head shape. It's just more spiky. Am I the only one who thinks there should be a continuity where Optimus and Nemesis are separate? I mean, to be honest, that's most of them. Because there's Armada, there's a few comics and stuff like that, because Nova Prime becomes Nemesis Prime and IDW. It's only recently where Nemesis Prime has been Optimus but turned evil or something like that, like in The Last Night or the Netflix shows.
Most of the time, Nemesis Prime has been like a clone or something made separately. Sure, he's made to still kind of be Optimus, but like in Prime, but it hasn't been specifically Optimus. Not gonna lie, I always imagined Nemesis becoming Optimus' second personality. Damn, that's kind of wild. Armada Blur is underrated as a character. I agree, and also cool design. Yeah. Sideways 52 at Talon Productions. I heard Rise of the Beast director Stephen Cable Jr. was a Beast Wars fan, and he didn't want to do a Bumblebee sequel. He has said he's a fan. I know some people kind of question it. I still take him at least for like an average fan, I guess. I don't remember if he wanted to do a Bumblebee movie sequel specifically, though. Can't remember on that. Hot take, Ironhide should have killed Demolisher given that he's more trigger-happy than Optimus. I mean, that's not a bad idea. Definitely would have helped alleviate some of the stuff that people argue against Bay Prime. Because I think that could have led to possibly a pretty neat moment of Ironhide shooting Demolisher. Maybe, Optimus could have just done something as simple as giving him a look, or maybe scolding him a bit, just like, Ironhide, we needed to interrogate him more, or something like that. I think that would have been very cool. So, and you know what though, I will say I don't really think it's a hot take. I think most people would agree with that. But yeah, that. I would have been very down with that. Maybe it wouldn't have been exactly like how I am imagining it in my head. But, yeah. Let's see. Reptilo says, question, since Michael Bay is returning, do you think that he's planning to create an actual prequel trilogy for the Bayverse to fix the continuity? I doubt it. I don't think there's going to be prequels, especially with a lot of the stuff, the confusion with the Bumblebee movie and Rise of the Beast. Even though they're clearly reboots, I don't care what anybody says. I wouldn't necessarily mind. I'd love to see more of like the Bayverse stuff, especially like when you have more of the movies 1 through 3 stuff. But I don't see that happening. Hob Channel says, hot take, including the military and base films was a great idea. It truly is a more serious and realistic approach to Transformers, making the films feel more mature. Oh yeah, 100%. And with the way you described it, I'm not sure it'd be a hot take. I know a lot of people love to complain about the military aspect in the movies, but I'm with you though. And not to mention, it's just especially with the more realistic approach that the Bay movies had, like, of course the military would be involved. If this actually went on, there's no way the military would not be involved. So yeah, I'm with you. People say Age of Extinction is too long, but Last Night would have benefited from a similar, or dare I say it, longer runtime to fill in many gaps. It definitely could have used extra stuff. I'd say there's stuff from the Last Night you could cut out, but I don't feel like that gives, like that helps make Age of Extinction better. Because my thing is, I don't mind a long movie if it's justifiably long. Age of Extinction is not justifiably long. There's stuff you can easily cut out. The whole chase on the motorcycle and then into the elevator or whatever with Joshua Joyce did not need to happen, among other stuff. Romeo and Juliet. But, yeah. So, Age of Extinction definitely could have made some cuts. The Last Night could have used extra stuff in it, but it also could have used some cuts as well. So, yeah. There's a bit of give and take there. Triton says, while I agree with Bayformer's Hound should have been bulkhead design-wise, personality-wise, it makes no sense. Yes, okay, that's one thing I've always gotten, like, design-wise, sure, big kind of tubby green guy. And, you could argue that the beard is just a translation of Bulkhead's weird, like, in animated, he kind of had, like, a big chin, but, like, in Prime, it's kind of like a piece of armor, I guess, since you can see a mouth underneath it. So you could argue the beard's kind of just a different representation of that. But yeah, when people are like, he's just like Bulkhead in personality, like, no, he's not. The closest Bulkhead he is in personality to is Age of Extinction, Jesus Christ. Is Prime, but even then, Prime Bulkhead wasn't just like willy-nilly, I'm okay with killing things. So I don't know. I've never really seen that personally. To me, it's always kind of been like a surface level thing for me. Oh shit, Love Gun says, I respectfully disagree with Megatron being broken. He chose to follow the fall and he chose to start war on Cybertron and he kept choosing to hurt and hurt and hurt. I agree with you. He's definitely not broken. See, the Bayverse is far ruined now by the last night, so just continue the reboot universe. Hell, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I kind of think there needs to be a completely fresh start because I feel like this whole back and forth was like, it's part of the Bayverse, but it's also not. Like, has kind of just been just like this. I don't know, just unnecessary weight on the reboot stuff. So I think we just need a complete clean slate. Someone who used literal infants of his kind isn't someone who's broken. He's just plain evil. Yeah. Eric M., as much as I love Prime Starscream, he became a joke in Season 3, and I'm not a fan of that. I am with you, and I'd say it's a bit of a warm take, because I have seen some people acknowledge that. But yeah, it really does kind of suck that he just kind of became a joke. That's always been my thing. I feel like that kind of started in Season 2 to a small extent, but became really apparent by Season 3. And I'm like, he had some genuine menace in the first 2 seasons, and then that just went away. See, Dino Shock, Rise of the Beast Scourge should have been an unwilling servant to Unicron. Not gonna lie, to a certain extent, I feel like he kind of is. I could totally see Unicron just forcing him to work with him whenever he destroyed Scourge's planet. And then, like, Scourge just kind of goes with everything because he has nothing else in life to look forward to. Serving Unicron has become his life, so why fight against it, So, but we don't really know Scourge's backstory, so it is what it is. Reptilio, hot take or not, if the Predacons are featured in the Bayverse, I do think Beast Wars Megatron would be better off named as Galavar, since he's a completely different character. I feel like you could get away with it as long as you acknowledge that he's named himself like after Megatron, or even if you want to include the Megatronus thing to reference the Fallen. Galavar, I mean, it could work. I don't know what it is. I've always thought Galavar was kind of a silly name, but but I do kind of feel like switching up his name and not having him referred to as Megatron at all would kind of piss some people off, and it would kind of bother me a little bit, if I'm being honest. Not like, I wouldn't boycott the movie or some dumb shit, but, yeah. Hot take, Optimus Prime and Cogman carried last night. I definitely agree. More so with Cogman, because Optimus really isn't in TLK all that much, but, let's see. Austin said Scourge is... Oh. Chat fucking moved. Never mind. Well, it looks like he basically said same stuff. Alright, universe balancing. That universe balancing act or whatever, Ramjack, gets brought up a lot, but like, I've never seen it. Zach's World Productions. Hot take, I think Willie and Brains have one of the best character arcs in the movies. They go from being Decepticon drones to playing a big role in winning the Battle of Chicago. Yeah, it's some cool stuff. Pretty simple, but yeah. I'd say that maybe it could be a bit of a warm take. If I said worm take, whatever the hell that means. Guys, so don't hate me for this because I'm not gonna lie. Like, obviously, one of my plans was to transform Stinger while doing it, because obviously I'm trying to give you guys a bit more of a visual than just kind of sitting here with my arms on screen doing nothing at a desk. I'm just like, damn. I don't feel like doing some more complex transformation right now. Call me lazy, I know. But, yeah. You know what I will do, though? Transform H of the Prime. Prima! He's pretty cool. I don't know where his sword went, though. That's gonna bug me. Or like the sword that I use with him. There we go. This bad boy. But
Rise of the Beast was so generic. Yeah, it was. Heck, you said that Rise of the Beast Prime's head was based on Peter Cullen, which was debunked. Yes, it was. That, and like, really was gaslighting of the fandom to believe in that. Just really cracks me up. Transformers fans say that the AOE designs are too human. Forget how most of the female Transformers designs look. Cough, cough. G1 Finbots. I don't really agree with that. I think it's more so the fact that compared to the previous movies, we did have some human-like ones, like say, Wheeljack / Q and Dark of the Moon, or Sentinel Prime, or kind of the Autobots in general being a bit more humanoid. But then you had this hard shift to, look at Age of Extinction Drift. That's a human face that's gold. Similar stuff with Hound and Crosshairs, and even characters like Lockdown or Galvatron have way more human-like faces. So I think for some it's sort of the, dare I say, inconsistent design aesthetic going on more than not knowing about other design stuff. Hot take, Cliffjumper should have been in the live-action movies, being the more of a warrior-type character compared to Bumblebee. I think that could have been cool. I like that original Cliffjumper toy a lot, so... Most likely a cold take. But Lennox really should have been the main character of Age of Extinction last night. Yeah, I would say that is a bit more of a cold take, but one that I kind of agree with you with. Even if he's not the main character, I just would have liked to have seen more of Lennox in general, because he's a great character. Hot take, there should have been an animated movie where Trypticon is the main antagonist. Not really sure that one's a hot take, because again, that to me that's one that's more of an idea, and it's just like, yeah, why not? Sideways 52, hot take, Dark of the Moon Soundwave should have been a blue SUV with a Revenge of the Fallen concept head. So essentially the Dark of the Moon game design. I would have been okay with that. I liked him as the Mercedes, and I liked the Dark of the Moon head, but that would have been pretty cool. Let's see. I agree. Bulkhead only looks formidable from the outside, but inside he is soft. This is the, big word. Anyway, Eric M. Signal Lancer and Dispensor could defeat Unicron. Jesus Christ! Could you imagine? He fires so much Baja Blast at Unicron that he fucking Baja blasts him from existence. That'd be wild. Talon, hot take, but the Fallen and Megatron should be two different characters. I'm not against it. I've become so used to, the Fallen being Megatronus that, I don't know, for me it just sounds kind of weird at this point. Especially, because I do like the idea of the Fallen being one of the, original 13 who betrayed the others, turned evil and whatnot. I just think that's some pretty cool storytelling and whatnot. So, I like him, but being Megatronus, I don't know. Because I also do like that tie with Megatron. But, I don't freaking know. I can see that being a bit of a warm take. I know there are some people that just don't like the name Megatronus in general. Yeah, guys, here's Prima with that upgrade sword. I just think it looks really good with him. He looks really good with it. Cool stuff. Oh, Austin said Unc Talon, but I'm curious why. Let's see, hot take, if Megatron should return to the movies, he should have a huge gun mode weapon from AoE Lockdown as a reference to G1 toy. I don't think he absolutely needs it, but I think, maybe something like that could be kind of neat. Hot take: Prima should have should have a 1v1 match with Megatronus. I'd love to see that. Would be pretty cool. See, Hob Channel, hot take: the acting of almost all the actors in Bayverse films was top notch. I agree. But even stuff like Megan Fox, even though I don't feel like she's great, I don't think she's really all that bad either. But especially a lot of the voice actors, I would dare say, especially if you're including voice actors, that that's kind of a warmer take. But yeah. Let's see. Eric M. Thunderblast is the best female Decepticon. I mean, I feel like that's fair. I don't know who I would say is the best female Decepticon. Maybe Slipstream. Thunderblast is okay. I guess she gets some brownie points since the people working on Cybertron had a bit of the horny with her. But yeah. Hot take: Hasbro should have made a separate line for the 86 to putting it in Studio Series. Yes. Remember, at least if what's kind of been hearsay is to be believed, because I don't think there's been anything official that says this. But the only reason 86 even exists was because they've decided to put Kingdom into Beast Wars into Kingdom. And then, because that was originally going to have a lot of 86 stuff, because that would have been an anniversary year. That would have been the 35th. And so they pushed it, or they put it in Studio Series. Maybe they could have just waited. I don't know. Because that's early enough in the line where you're planning stuff out, you know? Love Gun says, not sure if this is a hot take. If Transformers and Power Rangers crossover, doesn't matter which continuity would work well. I mean, that's a good. Penny, what are you doing? Penny, you want to come say hi? Come here. Penny. I don't usually put them on my desk like this, guys, but here's Penny. Look at this poofy girl. Alright, Pen. That's enough internet fame for the day. Alright, let's see where I left off. Hot take: Quintessa should have had the G1 Terracons or Predacons or both as her army. That could have been kind of cool. I definitely liked her having her own thing with the Infernocons, though. I thought they were pretty cool. Bayverse Sideswipe should have been Blur. TF Prime Smokescreen should have been Hot Rod. Mirage and Wheeljack should have been Jazz the Beachcomber. I'm not sure if I'm all for the should have been, but I could definitely see them being those characters. My thing is always just like, I'm all for different interpretations of characters. Hot take: I think the Combaticons would have been suitable to be featured in Revenge of the Fallen alongside Devastator. So 2 combiners. That's only if Paramount had enough budget for the animations. That could have been neat. I'm not sure what Bruticus could have done in Revenge of the Fallen. Like, maybe he could have been the army that Nest was fighting, but some people already say that Devastator should have been that. But could have been cool. Hot take: Prowl should have battled Barricade in Dark of the Moon. Huh. That's assuming Prowl would have been in Dark of the Moon. Nah, but that could have been neat, I suppose. Hot take: I really hate H of the Prima's head. They should have used a Covenant head. I agree. I will say, though, I don't really mind the head in person. This was one of those things that I was not the biggest fan of originally, but I've warmed up to it. And I mean, it's a nice reference to the G1 show with the one, obviously he's not named Prima, but there's like an ancient robot that you see with this head. I believe in Slipstream supremacy. Yep. Austin again, Talon. Why am I being called Talon? Hot take, if Rise of the Beast was an actual prequel to the Bayverse, I do see Tarn being the villain, but it could have been possible for a whole new original Decepticon antagonist. I guess Tarn could have worked. I mean, I really feel like anybody that wasn't in the main stuff, you know, could have been a villain. You know, like, yeah, you could see it being Tarn, but I mean, it could be Giaxis, it could be Straxus, who knows. Penny is beautiful. Yeah, she is. She's my big girl. I love her. Good old Pen. Austin says show BB. Let's see if I can get her over here. BB, come here. BB. She's laying down on the bed right now. I don't want to go mess with her too much. Shockwave should have been the main villain of the movie, and Laserbeak shouldn't have died. That's fair. I want to see Fat Girl BB. Jesus Christ. Hot take, Lockdown should have gotten a couple second cameo of Revenge of the Fallen. Yeah, but what would he have done, though? Like, what would have been the purpose? Because for me, a cameo for the sake of a cameo is just kind of eh. Talon Productions, don't know if this counts, but no one acknowledges that the shot in the last night from space of a Cybertron scraping Earth when you hear the news broadcast is genuinely terrifying. No, I agree. I am 100% with you. Absolutely terrifying. Hot take, I think the Talon Productions at YouTube, Instagram, and Discord.com. It's too scared to show off BB. She doesn't come over to me. Whenever they're nearby and I can show them I will, because Penny was over beside me. BB's currently chilling. BB, wanna come here? Wanna come here? Damn, guys. She lifted her head, looked at me, then laid right back down. She is not giving a single fuck right now. Hot take, I think Battletrap and Nightbird are better off as Decepticons since they don't really have a demonic appearance, which is why the Dreads, Dark of the Moon could have been Terracons. Interesting. I think Battletrap can kind of fit, especially with like how the way his face looks and his eyes. I think it could work. See, Austin, look, you'll fucking complain about me not being caught up with the chat, but then you'll post a bunch of bullshit like that in a row, causing me to be Jesus Christ. Now, don't get me wrong. I want to show y'all BB, but she's got to come over here on her time. and Austin is right. She is a glorious chunk. Let me get back to up here though. Hot take, and last night the legendary night ship that was stuck in the mountain should have been a Mega Supreme and be used in the final battle. That could have been neat. Not really sure that's a hot take, but that could be neat. Austin Gillis with a bold opinion. The Death Trackers and Transformers 1 are underrated. They're pretty cool. I'm not sure if they're underrated though, because they're basically just Viacons. But they are cool. I do agree with you on that. They are cool. Mega Supreme would have wrecked many computers like Devastator. Oh yeah. Thank you, Hob. It's a hot take. LMAO. Mega Supreme would be so powerful they wouldn't be able to show him in last night. BB. Guys, she doesn't want to join. She yawned at me. BB. Okay, fine, you guys. I'll go pick her up. I will bother my cat for you. My lovely audience. Hold on. Guys, she whined when I pick her up, so you better give BB a big welcome. BB, you're on camera. BB. BB. Psst, psst. Say hi. You big old chunk. Yes, ma'am. All right, I'll take you back to the bed, big kitty. There you go. What a big girl. Oh. Only greatest Transformers movies. 1, Bumblebee and Revenge of the Fallen. I don't know, man. I love 07, Dark of the Moon, and Age of Extinction. They have a lot of people who are loving BB, it looks like. Hot take, Rise of the Beast should have been Optimus Prime spinoff. Heck, apparently from what some things say she was. Terracons are an elite team of Decepticons. That could have been cool. Hot take, there should have been a Beast Wars film that started the reboot continuity instead of the Bumblebee movie. I'd be down with that. Granted, though, the Bumblebee movie was already into production again. It got reworked into being its own thing. So, like, I'm not sure saying that that should have happened instead of Bumblebee is completely fair, but that's just me. Autobots and Optimus would have to make a choice to stay on Earth or leave Cybertron. That could have been interesting. Oh, geez, getting BB, please, yes. I love this fucking cat. She sounds like she smokes 20 packs a day. Jesus Christ. Hi, BB, babies. She's definitely cute. I love my BB. She's such a big girl. Oh, she's back. Hi, BB. Hi, BB. Come here, the kitty. BB, the chat is loving you. The chat is loving you, BB. What do you say to your fans? BB. BB. Big girl. Big girl. Oh, she's getting her big chainsaw purr. Oh, come here, big girl. Don't go over there. Come here. Alright, people say they don't know. Don't know who's who in the Bayverse. Meanwhile, I have no idea Skywarp and Thundercracker are dead and Bumblebee. That's a good point. That's a very good point. Thank you, Talon. You made my day. Of course, Austin. Love you. Hot take, Jolt should have killed Rampage. Bumblebee weakens him. That could have been cool. Would have definitely given Jolt more to do, so I don't think anyone would disagree with that. So I'd say that's maybe a bit more cold. But let's see. Hot takes, I think the Infernocons would have been reimagined as Cybertron experiments who transform into alien-like beasts similar to Sharkticons and Terracons. That could definitely be an interesting idea. BB, baby girl, this one well-fed kitty. Yeah, she is. Let's see, I love cats so much. Same, man. Love the meow meows. Yeah, she's got a lot of cute ones. BB should be in the next Transformers. Hell yeah. We love BB. Hot take, the dreads from Dark of the Moon should be more utilized in Transformers media as a Black Ops counterpart to the Wreckers or as a deadly private mercenary team. That'd be very cool. I kind of did that in the stop motion I did one time, but they were like a team that Strax's had. The cats are fucking awesome. Yes, they are. I love cats. And hey, look, guys, I'm caught up. Well, hey, I hope you guys have been having fun so far. I will say I probably will only be on for around another half hour or so because it's 3:58. And I probably need to get off about 4:30. So this might be on the shorter end of live streams, even though that'll be a little over 2 hours by the time we get there. But yeah. Let's see. I guess I'll transform one Elita one. Hot take, Crowbar should have put up a better fight. Yeah. It does, like, I do wish they had a bit more of a fight, because low-key, I kind of feel like the Dreads looked a little weak in the movie. Like, Hatchet gets taken out almost fucking instantly. The Crankcase and Crowbar both don't really do much. I don't believe Bay Prime is that consistent with what Optimus is meant to be. I think back to the strong enough to be gentle mentality with Optimus. That's Mellow Boy? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I disagree with that. I think he has that. Yes, he's more violent, but the fact is he's strong enough to be gentle when it counts. Especially with, like, his allies. He's very empathetic. You know, he shows remorse. It's just the fact that, hey, if you're a fucking, you know, genocidal, slavery-happy monster, he has no problem killing you, and I don't see how that's against Optimus Prime. And, you know, the Decepticons, it's not like they give him an easy choice.
So yeah, I personally very much so disagree with that. I feel like he is in line with most versions of Optimus. He definitely has his own bit of flavor with being a bit more violent, but he very much so is like most versions. He's just a bit more violent, and that's fine because considering the the universe, the world that he's in. I mean, obviously, you guys have most of you guys probably know this if you've seen my in defense of Bay's Optimus Prime. Damn, can this fold over? God. Am I doing something wrong here? Am I a dummy? Okay, you guys don't fucking answer that. But damn, what the hell am I doing wrong? Let's see. Damn right we are, Talon. Hey, that's cool. I prefer the G2 design of Liege Maximo over the Loki design. Yes, I agree with you. I actually feel like that's a bit more of a cold take as well, because I feel like I see people say that a lot. I don't mind Robot Loki. I think it's neat. It's just that freaking monstrous, just pure evil look that the Liege Maximo had just looked so much better, in my opinion. Again, I don't mind the Loki thing, but I just feel like that's a case of it looking too much like what it's inspired by, if that makes sense. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but I don't know. It's just too much like, oh yeah, that's Loki, but as a robot, you know. I just wish it had a bit more of its own thing with maybe some influences. But he is straight up like MCU Loki. To be fair, Bay Prime lives in a kill or be killed world. Yes, he does. Let's see. Reptilo question: if you made a Beast Wars prequel to Bayverse, how would you reveal the origin of Beast Wars? Oh, I'll be real, dude. I have no idea. I'll be honest. I'm kind of bad with these types of questions. Like that stuff, I'd really have to think on. I'm not really sure how I'd reveal it. I feel like something like in Revenge of the Fallen, where Sam and Simmons are kind of going through like the files during the whole the Transformers. They've been here a long time. Like that scene, I think would be a good time for something like that. If you're planning ahead, or maybe it wouldn't be a bad just a neat little reference, you know. But I think that could have been a good spot for it. Let's see. People complain about Bayformer Starscream not being a backstabber yet, and Bumblebee, where Megatron, as far as we know, MIA. He's seemingly chilling with taking orders from Shockwave. That's fair, but you know what? I'll say I'm not sure that's quite fair because I mean it's just a brief cameo. Like I feel like it's kind of hard to judge like character intentions and whatnot when he literally shows up just to stand there, look cool, and fly off and shoot down, like a tower in the most dumb way possible. Like you guys you guys were at the bottom, flew up just to shoot down. But so like I'm not sure that's quite fair compared to Starscream, who had 3 movies, or Bay Starscream, who had three movies. But that's just me. Armada Starscream being loyal. Don't know if this is a hot or warm take, but should Megatron return to the live action movie, he should have a... I could have sworn this got mentioned earlier. Because, I was saying that, like, it'd be cool, but it's not something that's absolutely necessary. Hot take, G1RC looks too much like Princess Leia. On one hand, fair. On the other, though, that was the intent. She was meant to look like Princess Leia, especially with the buns. That basically gives it away. So, like, because that movie has a lot of Star Wars in it, if you look closely. I mean, Unicron is essentially just the Death Star. Damn, you guys. I was like, maybe I should tell the chat some of my hot takes, and then see what they think about it. But if I'm being honest, I can't remember any. I know one of my hot takes was going to be, you know, I think that the Dark of the Moon movie ending is better than the novel or comic, but most of you guys seem to kind of agree with me. So that's not really a hot take, at least in this space. What's another one? Hot take, the 86 film was just a Star Wars film? Yeah, I can see it. Well, I say I can see it. Yeah, it is. Let's see, hot take, people complaining about Bay Autobots being bloodthirsty, but then praising IDW Autobots for questionable things and calling them realistic is hypocritical. Yeah, I can see it. I know some people argue like the context and whatnot, and that's completely fair. Context is always key. But yeah, I can see that. IDW Prime killed Galvatron cold blood. What's funny is I see a lot of people try to argue, like, you know, oh, this, you know, there's a reason for this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, yeah, there's a reason for Bay Prime to do what he does, too. It's like, damn, he fucking cut off Galvatron's head, or at least removed it, and put it on a spike. But you guys want to talk about Bay Prime. Just dumb, dude. You're spitting facts? Hell yeah. Hot take, IDW RC brings Bay Prime to shame when it comes to psychopathy. I could definitely see that. I still haven't read through the IDW comics, unfortunately. But I could see that. Let's see. Bayformer's Optimus is one of the few cases that I can think of where the hero manages to be as scary, if not scarier, than the main villain sometimes. Damn. I don't think he's quite that scary, to be honest. Well, I don't really find him scary at all, if I'm being completely real. I just think he's very... It's just like, hey, if you're a good guy, cool. But if you're someone who's trying to, you know, commit genocide or mass slavery, and you show that you're not capable of changing that, you're gonna die. I feel like that's okay. People only love the 86 film because of everything up to Starscream's death and the final battle. Everything in between is just random BS. I agree, and I know that would be considered a hot take, but like after Starscream dies to the point where Galvatron confronts Unicron and then Unicron transforms, like that section sucks. I could not stress, like I seriously, like my eyes glaze over during that like 20-30 minute section of the movie or whatever. Yeah, no, I am with you, Triton. Let's see, I've read Dark Cybertron, and she enjoys killing Khan. She killed Ratbat and Sunstorm. Yeah, see, I still got to read that stuff. The only stories from IDW that I've read all the way through have been Last Stand of the Wreckers, and damn, I think that's it, to be honest. Because I was collecting the big, like the hardcover collections, like the Phases 1, 2, and 3. But since the Skybound stuff happened, and the IDW doesn't have the license anymore, they stopped that. So I'm kind of screwed when it comes to that, because I wanted to read the comics universe from beginning to end. I just thought that'd be kind of cool, you know, not having to pause, like new issues and stuff like that. But fuck me, I suppose. Hog Channel says the last night plot with Cybertron approaching Earth was excellently done. The story development leading up to it and the eerie end of the world vibes were greatly executed. Honestly, like I wouldn't really disagree. It's got some good like apocalyptic feel, and I feel like it did that decently well with whenever Cybertron shows up. I just wish we saw more of the apocalyptic destruction, you know, because it's like this the bits of Cybertron scraping like entire continents, like, you know, like millions would be dying in minutes, if not seconds. And I just feel like we didn't really see that well. But yeah, but a lot of that stuff was definitely a bit eerie and done decently well. I can agree with that, and that is probably a bit of a hot take.
Mr. Fedora film, hot take, Ultra Magnus should have been in the live action movie, Revenge of the Fallen, Dark of the Moon. He will work very well with Nest as he's a commander, that's by the book. Actually, you know what? That's a good point. I think he would have worked very well within Nest. Not sure if he should have been in all three or when he really could have been introduced. Maybe Revenge of the Fallen wouldn't have been a bad time. Because I could see him arguing with Galloway being pretty good. Skypound. Oh shit, it's Savage. Hello. You can read them online. Yeah, I know I can read them online. It's just like being able to have all the collections and stuff right there would have helped me a bit, because once I finish whatever the last phase 3 one is, then I have to look up what stories come up next, and I don't know. It just, again, it would have been nice just to read all of the comics in the phases in order, and been good. IDW is actually upset they lost the license. Yeah, I've heard. It really sucks, especially since it was kind of sudden. At least they still have the Godzilla license. Yeah, that's fair. Let's see. Bayverse Soundwave is the only Soundwave who is allowed to have a mouth. I feel like that's fair. I don't mind them having a mouth. Even though I wish it was a bit more abstract, like Revenge of the Fallen, because like the Revenge of the Fallen head in the movie doesn't really have a faceplate. It's more of like a bunch of panels that can kind of look flat depending on the angle and stuff. But it moves around whenever he speaks. So I wish it was kind of something like that, where it's like, yeah, he has a mouth, but it still kind of looks like a faceplate. Again, you guys, I'm sorry if this is a bit more basic on the visual sides of things. But still, if you guys are enjoying yourselves, that's all that matters. Let's get Yellow Park and Megatron doing stuff. It's crazy that it's already been two weeks for me since doing the first stream and doing this. I do think that for the most part, guys, that Sundays will probably be my day for streams, just because like during the week I won't really have a chance to. I maybe could after work, depending, but it would be later in the day, to the point of being at night for me, because I get off at 8 p.m. and keep in mind I'm Eastern Standard Time, so it'd be like a real late night, because I know some of you guys are in way different time zones, and it's like right now I think it's already late for some of you, so that would be really late. And then like Friday nights, I'm typically doing the Friday night voice chat in the Discord server. Again, if you guys want to join the Discord server, check out the Patreon. But and then Saturday nights, I'm usually either busy with just life stuff, or doing another VC in the Discord server, or both. So yeah, Sundays, and especially earlier Sunday, is definitely where it's at for me. Hot take: Bayverse needs more female Autobots like Windblade and Nautica. I'd be down with that. It does suck that their only attempt at it was the RCs, RC, Chromia, and Elita 1 and Revenge of the Fallen. I know there's Widowmaker now, but she's still more of a concept character, even though it is very cool that they did kind of canonize her with the toy. I do like that. You know what? Where is my Widowmaker? Well, that's going to bother me now. There she is. I'll transform her as well, because I like this figure a lot. Reptilo at Talon Production question: do you think that Age of Extinction film could have been reimagined with elements from Shadows Rising game while remaining the original cast? I'm not familiar with this Shadows Rising game, so I'm not sure. Could they have had a bit more of the cast from the original trilogy? Sure, because I feel like the Autobots Reunite scene would have been a bit more effective if there was at least an Autobot or two that we recognized aside from Bumblebee. Like, I think Sideswipe would have been a good one. Triton at Talon Productions says, kind of adding on to Hogchannel's last night hot take,
It's such a short scene, but the imagery of two moons is so masterfully haunting. Yeah, there's some very cool stuff there. Like I especially love that shot where you see like the um damn, I'm not even sure what to call it, but when you kind of see like I guess magma or something like starting to come out of the moon, like there's some good stuff there. Very freaky. I feel that general audiences may not watch this new Bayformers film, especially with how Bay's recent films have not done well critically, commercially, and financially. I don't know. Wasn't I know that one movie, I think Six Underground, didn't do super well, like in general, but I think Ambulance was decently liked critically, or at least it wasn't as disliked. So I guess that's kind of a backhanded compliment, but still. But who knows? I feel like, generally speaking, a lot of fans are becoming more open to the Bay movies, and a lot of people are being more appreciative of them. So I feel like they'll have some of that nostalgia going with this potential new Bay movie. Triton, you mentioned time zones as I'm typing this. It's 9:13 p.m. here in the UK. Okay, so about 5 hours ahead of me. So not too bad then. Okay. Same Triton. So, okay, you and J. Ross. Okay. Then Love Gun, it's 11:14. Damn, okay. So that's what? 7 hours? Jeez. Cinema Arts says, at Talon Productions, I don't know if this is a hot take, but Shadow and Dropkick are very forgettable villains. Imagine if the classic Secret Trio, Soundwave, and even Blitzwing would have been better. You know what? That is a bit of a hot take with how some people praised them, but I low-key agree. I like Shatter and Dropkick, and they are good, but they are just kind of basic goons. More so Dropkick than Shatter. But, like, I don't know. I feel like, especially when some people try to be like, oh, they're way better than the Bay villains. Like, they are better, at least in terms of personality and stuff, than some Bay villains. I will definitely agree. Like, even though as much as I love the Fallen, they are better characterized than he is. But, I don't know, man. They're just... I feel like they just get praised because they're in the Bumblebee movie, which is generally considered good. I don't know. They're cool. I like them, but I can't agree that they are forgettable. Reptilo at Talon Productions, hot take. If the Bayverse continued, do you think a Human Alliance TV series taking place years after Age of Extinction and focuses on Nest and the Autobots fighting against Galvatron and his new army? Are you asking me like if I think that'd be cool? I mean, I think it could be good. Again, though, I feel like that's one of those things where that's not quite a hot take. It's more of like, hey, this idea is cool. But, yeah, I think that could be neat, you know, especially having more Galvatron, because I love me some Galvatron. Jay Ross, I see that you're saying that you're leaving. Thank you for joining. It's been fun. Always love to have you, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Let's see. Hot take. Oh, this is also Jay Ross. Studio series Transformers 1 needs improvements like paint and articulation. That's fair. And yeah, like what Gerson Boom said, then that's not really a hot take. That's just the truth. Triton says, I'm pretty sure Six Underground was a streaming film, so it not being a big box office hit makes sense. Yeah, that's completely fair. I didn't watch it, and I didn't really keep up with it, so I don't really know. Savage says, I mentioned to a coworker that isn't even much of a Transformers fan that Bay is coming back, and she was hyped. Yeah, like that's the thing. I've heard a lot, like a decent bit of casual people being pretty hyped. So, yeah, I'm with you on having a good feeling about Bay's comeback, Savage. See, Raw. By the way, I was on about Transformers 1 Screamer, but my dumbass forgot to add that. Jesus Christ. Here was something I didn't know for the longest time. Angela Bassett voiced Shatter. Oh, yeah. I definitely knew that because I thought it was cool that the Queen of Wakanda was voicing Shatter. I think she does a great job. Like, she definitely adds a good bit to Shatter. That's why I kind of hate the sound like I'm hating on Shatter and Dropkick, but...
Eric M. Bumblebee movie RC faces nightmare fuel. Yeah, bro, where the fuck is Austin? Because he would be arguing against this. I hate the Bumblebee movie RC face design. She looks like a goddamn like a porcelain doll like horror movie character. It's weird though because I don't really I don't like the face design. I don't really care for the design in general, but I love the Studio Series toy. Brendan from South Park says, "What's up? Hello. Hope you're doing well." Hot take: Bayverse action is better than the other Transformers films. Action is so. For the most part, I agree. I will say though, like Bumblebee movie had some decent fights, like Bumblebee versus Blitzwing, and then him versus Dropkick were very good. Then Rise of the Beast, there weren't too many that were great. At the very least, I did like the mountain chase. Then I think Transformers 1 had some fantastic action scenes though. Bumblebee movie RC is so pretty, y'all just wrong. Dude, no the fuck she's not. Can't handle the genuine robot aesthetics. Dude, nah, she's just fucking ugly, bro. She's a fucking butterface. Sideways 52, hot take on Mixed on Base returning. Don't like the idea of Bay doing a reboot. See, I'm all for him returning to direct, but like I do feel like him doing a reboot's like even though I'm split on it because on the one hand I'm like that is probably the way to go, but on the other it feels so weird to bring back like the same guy to do a reboot. I don't know. This is probably a reboot if you're wanting to start fresh. Bringing back the same guy is probably not the best way to do that, but whatever. Rise of the Beast, twas indeed Diet Bay. Yes, it was. One of the bigger criticisms of Rise of the Beast is that it felt like Diet Bay. Damn, back to back. Yep. Bayverse RC superior. Yes, she is. Motorcycle mermaids, bro. Christian Prime, bro. I'm looking at the Bumblebee movie RC face, and my gosh, it's ugly ass. It's ugly ass shit, dog. Your Reddit said Bumblebee is better. What? Rise of the Beast is better because she looks pretty cool. I don't mind Rise of the Beast. She kind of has too much of that, like, you know, again, kind of like the just flat human face. But, I don't know. Austin, you know what? I'm glad that you find something in that I guess most other people don't. I just can't fucking agree with you. On Bumblebee movie RC. I do agree with you that Bayverse RC and Sisters are gorgeous, because they are. Which of the 3 animated Transformers movie is the best? The G1 film, Predacons Rising, or TF1? Dude, definitely TF1. Like, that's not even really up for fucking debate. The 86 movie, I get it's important for the franchise, and it's held in high regard by people, but it's really not that fucking good, you guys. Or at least in my opinion. I think it's the worst Transformers film. I would make an argument that The Last Knight is better than the 86 film. As a movie. But, and then Predacons Rising, it's okay, but I actually think the, like, Deadlock, the last episode in Prime, was the better ending, for Prime. Austin and I were actually talking about this last night in the Discord server. But yeah. And then, let's see, Austin, I'll agree to disagree. You are valid. Like, she's not up to my taste, but beauty is subjective at the end of the day. Yeah, that's totally fair. Austin, those lips are gorgeous. Is that you trying to goon? Gerson Boom, I just hope the rebooted, I hope the rebooted movie Bay is making doesn't have the designs be G1 but realistic. Yeah, same. I hope, as much as I would love a return to the overall Bay aesthetic, if this is a reboot, I would love to see something a bit more new. But we'll see, I guess. That really is just what all of this is at the end of the day. We'll see. I know that's very basic, to hear over and over, but it is what it is. Will Jack arguably had it the worst when it came to live action adaptations? I mean, I guess that's fair. It's weird because Bumblebee movie RC doesn't even look like her render on screen. The DLX is more accurate. Gerson Boom at Talon Productions, hot take. The 86 movie is extremely overrated. Yes, I agree. Don't get me wrong. Do I love it? Yeah. Is it like the best thing ever? No. It does not deserve the pedestal that it is put on by the fandom. Austin says the DLX is so good, but I love DLX Bayverse scissors. Oh my god, yes, dude, that would be so cool. Especially with them taking a bit more of a bigger dive into Bay stuff. I wouldn't mind them getting there at some point. Unfortunately, I low-key doubt it, but I'd love to see it. Prime is just peak. Yeah, I love Prime. It's my favorite Transformers show. And I do think it's one of the best. I'm not sure I can say it's the best, but it's definitely one of the best. Hot take, the 86 isn't the end-all be-all of Transformers films. Yeah. I know I'm like... I'm kind of repeating myself with some of that stuff, but I definitely agree with you guys. I'm glad to see more people agree, because too many people hop onto the 86 movie being the best when it just really fucking isn't. Like, I know opinions are subjective, blah, 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 but I don't know. There should be a Shattered Glass animated show. That'd be pretty cool. Hot take, Transformers Prime and the Cybertron games did the Optimus and Meg's backstory miles better than Transformers 1. Interesting. They were definitely a bit more fleshed out. Like, I think Transformers 1 was pretty fleshed out for what it was, but it's still like a, hour and a half, 2-hour movie. But, like, with what they had, they did a good job with it. But I wouldn't disagree with you there on it being better done. Although I will say that's more so for Prime, not the Cybertron games, because Optimus and Megatron don't really even interact a whole lot in those games. Like physically, we don't even see them interact in person until Fall of Cybertron. And I don't know, you only really get hints of their backstory during the mid-battle banter in the last level. But I would agree with that with Prime though. Let's see, Hob Channel, I have a Star Wars question. Okay, ooh, alright. Do you think Darth Vader said, Padme help me at the end of Revenge of the Sith when they put the mask on? I like the idea behind it. It's one of those things where kind of like somebody like, Sam, run. I'm like, I don't know. But, you do see Anakin's jaw move. I do feel like you can hear it. It's just one of those cases where I kind of wish it was subtitled, especially since George Lucas is a lot more intentional with that kind of stuff. So I feel like if that was meant to be a line of dialogue, that would have been in the subtitles. But I don't mind it just because I think it just adds a little bit more of that humanity to Anakin before he's encased in this inhuman thing, you know? I meant to say at the start, too, that if you guys wanted to post hot takes for other things, that, you could. You know what? I'll say a Star Wars hot take here. I don't know, just to throw out there. I actually think the somehow Palpatine return line is not that bad within context. Outside of context, I get it. But within context, Poe just got this information and is telling it to everybody. So, of course, it would be something super basic like that, you know? He doesn't know how Palpatine returned. All he knows is that Palpatine is back. And, I don't know, and people are treating it like that's the explanation in the movie, which I get it. There's not much of an explanation, so you kind of have to hold on to, or grasp onto what you can. But, I don't know. That's the thing for me, is that I feel too many people take that line outside of context. In context, it makes complete sense to me. Let's see here. Would you like Sam or Carly to come back and possibly have Daniel as Babe returns? I mean, I wouldn't be against it. Gotta convince Shia. Yeah, I feel like that's the big thing there. Any thoughts on the Unicron trilogy? Armada and Cybertron were good. That's my thing. Neo Decade. I grew up on Armada, so I love Armada. Eric M says, I want a statue of Infernicus in my garden. That'd be pretty cool. I think there are characters I would pick before Infernicus, but that'd be pretty cool. Brandon from South Park says, love animated more than Prime. That's fair. I know a lot of people that do. I prefer Prime over animated. I just like the aesthetic more, and I like animated a lot. It's great. I just can't get over the aesthetic. I just do not care for it. Star Wars hot take: battle droids are cooler than clones. Oh, that's from Savage. I would not disagree. I do like the battle droids a lot, but I also really like the clones. So let's see. Savage says Bayverse Solo Snyderverse. Dude, that's not even a competition. You know what? I know that I'm really not trying to piss off anybody here, but fuck the Snyderverse. I don't like Zack Snyder as a director. I don't really like his take on those characters beyond Man of Steel. I like Man of Steel a good bit, but in my opinion, Batman vs. Superman just fucks everything up. And I really do think that's the movie where it hits that. I feel like he doesn't understand a lot of these characters, including Superman. That's just me, though. I'm not saying that's any hate against you. You guys, I know there's a lot of people out there that really like Snyder's Superman. I do too, and Man of Steel. Past that, though, I mean, maybe in the Justice League, but that's about it otherwise. Bayverse versus Snyderverse again. Palpatine shouldn't be back at all. It breaks the entire saga. No, Triton, I agree, because I feel like it actively goes against the whole point of Anakin Skywalker being the chosen one. But yeah, there are ways you could have worked with that, but it's like, why have to work with it? My Star Wars hot take: Andor is overrated and boring. I haven't watched the show, but I have heard it's pretty damn good. But we'll see once I actually get around to the show. Cause I do intend to watch it. Hot take: in Rise of the Beast, Battle Trap should have been a duocon. That's Battle Slash and Road Trap from Power of the Prime's toy line. Would have brought some uniqueness to the movies of what characters Transformers can be. That would have been cool. I would have been down with that. Would not be against it at the very least. It's kind of funny though that Dropkick, in terms of a traditional, I guess you could say traditional Battle Trap, is more like Battle Trap than Battle Trap was. But I still like Rise of the Beast Battle Trap. TLK Baycut, that'd be cool. Last Night versus Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice. Dude, I'll be real. Well, part of me wants to say The Last Night, but like I do enjoy Ben Affleck as Batman. I do like the warehouse fight. There is some cool stuff in there, but I also like aspects of The Last Night. But I don't know. I think that Batman versus Superman for the most part is fucking dog shit. The movie was like a 2, maybe 3 out of 10, and then the extended edition made it a 4, maybe a 5 out of 10 movie. Even though there's only a tiny amount of changes, I think Dark of the Moon Optimus looks better than how he looked in the first 2 films. That's from Neo Chain. Interesting. I do like Dark of the Moon Prime a lot. It's kind of hard for me to pick which ones I like more. Although I think I do prefer Revenge of the Fallen or 07 overall. Triton, Batman vs. Superman is my favorite film of all time. Damn, I hope I haven't pissed you off with kind of trashing on it. Again, if you love it, more power to you, man. It's just not for me. Let me back this up, dude. Gotta give credit to Revenge of the Fallen Age of Extinction for showing and explaining how Megatron came back from the dead. Oh yeah, love it. Let's see, I don't hate Snyder and Man of Steel. Yeah, fair. Wish they'd at least keep Galvatron for Last Night. Yeah, I kind of wish they would have too. Especially since I feel that Last Night Megatron is overrated as fuck, in my opinion. Kind of a fun fact: Michael Bay and Zack Snyder were best friends, apparently. Damn, really? I could kind of see it. Sideways 52 says at Talon Productions, hot take: they should have recasted Michaela instead of bringing in Carly and Dark of the Moon. And Carly was a downgrade. I feel like that's a warm take, so I feel like people could go either way on that. It's weird because I like Carly, but I wouldn't disagree that she's a downgrade. I guess I wouldn't have minded a recast, but people get so fucking pissy about recasts sometimes, and it's just like, why? Like, I get it, it's not the same character, or like the same actor, blah blah blah, but just like, get the fuck over it, bro. Hot take: I think the Age of Extinction Last Night toy lines aren't as bad as people say they are. I agree. I think Age of Extinction had some fun toys, even though it's probably the weakest of the main movie toy lines. I actually think The Last Night has a fantastic toy line. It's just, unfortunately, it has a lot of very plain repaints and stuff, like that Wave 1 Bumblebee, that I don't really get why that was a thing. So, or hell, like the Dinobot repaints. But a lot of the new mold stuff was great. You know, even though I didn't really care for him in the end, that the Last Night Barricade was okay. I liked Berserker. You know, the Last Night Voyager and Leader Megatrons were good. I liked the Voyager Prime. The Voyager Scorn was amazing. Nitro's good. Let's see. In a four-way, let's see, it's got Mr. Fedora in a four-way fight between Darkseid, Doomsday, Thanos, and Trigon. Who do you think will come out on top? Dude, that's a tough one. A lot of very powerful characters there. I know probably the best answer, for better or worse, is probably Darkseid, even though part of me wants to say Thanos to rep my Marvel side. But Trigon being like the Demon Lord or whatever, that, like, he's a good option there too. Triton says Alice is the only time in Transformers history where the Pretender concept wasn't dumb. I agree. I feel like doing the whole sort of Terminator type thing is probably the best way to go about the Pretender aspect. So yeah, I think Bayverse Jurassic Prime Halo. I think Bayverse Optimus Prime is clearly justified that G1 fans, well, not all, but mainly all, is haters. I don't really think it's mainly all G1 fans, to be honest. I think it's G1ers, but not G1 fans. I definitely don't think you should, like, kind of, you know, cast such a large blanket over everyone. But no, I can see it. Brainiac versus Galactus. Who do you think will win in the fight? Dude, Galactus. He's one of the most powerful characters, not just in Marvel, but in comics in general. Let's see. Neo Decade. My hot take is 07, RETF, and Revenge of the Fallen greater than G1 in terms of design. I agree. Damn, Zodiac says, nah, Age of Extinction toy line was terrible. I don't know, man. There's a lot of good stuff in there, I think. Invasion Prime. I think even fun stuff like the helicopter drift from Skyhammer was cool. Granted, that's more of a Dark of the Moon toy, I guess, but, you know, like Deluxe Drift was okay. You know, I thought Deluxe Crosshairs, for what it was okay. Galvatron, even though he's a massive shelf former, I feel like it made it work well because of how well the backpack compressed. I don't know, man. Like, it's not great. Like, even most of the Dinobots are okay, even though they have those fucking gorilla arms. Hell, even the Leader Prime. I actually like that toy. I think it's pretty fun. And the Takara Armor Knight version is awesome. And Austin can back me up on that one, too. Like, you know, and like the new Camaro Bumblebee mold was pretty solid. Even though he's not the right car, I like the Stinger version. I don't mind that, because they even said that for whatever reason they just couldn't make the retool into the Pagani work. I'm not really sure why that is, but it is what it is. But yeah. See, Star Wars hot take. I prefer the special editions to the original versions. That's fair. I kind of do too. I get why people want the original versions to be available, which I think is completely fair. I feel like you should have the option to watch them. But I do like the changes made, even though part of me also thinks that George Lucas should have made the changes to the prequels to fit in better than changing the thing to make, or changing the old thing to work better with the new thing. I think you should make the new thing work better with the old thing, since the old thing existed first. But it is what it is. Invasion Prime is pretty good. Yes, he was. Jurassic Savage says, most base things I've read all day. What was it about 2007 Bumblebee that took a fan favorite character and turning him into the third most popular Transformers character? Not sure. They definitely hit some sort of like, I feel kind of like ET magic with that one. Triton says, compared to the many, frankly cancerous anti-Snyderverse assets I've dealt with over the years, you're fine, dude. Thank you. I definitely don't kind of like, I guess, hold back because like I really do think like Snyder doesn't really get stuff. He's very pretentious, but but his stuff is about as shallow as a puddle. But I'm never gonna be against anybody that's preferred, because I know the Bayverse isn't high art. You could definitely say some stuff about it, but I don't mind the Bayverse. So yeah. See, Night Optimus Prime and Last Night Megatron designs are awesome reinvention to the characters design-wise. They're cool. I like them. They're not my favorite, but they're cool. Austin, glad that you agree that the toy is fun. At Talon Productions, it would be cool if Sideways could change his body between his Armada and Cybertron design whenever he wants. That'd be pretty neat, especially with him kind of being like a universe or multiverse hopper or whatever, depending on some of the lore that you look at. The people who insult Bayverse fans by claiming they are fans of racist and military propaganda pieces of media are outright messed up. I agree. I definitely agree. Again, there was a Transformers bot posting on Facebook. I don't know if anyone's in that group. I left earlier in the year. One guy was going on about how if you liked the twins at all, that you were racist, and like I basically should have went to grab on my pointy white hat. Like thanks guy, just because I don't mind some characters that you don't like fuck off. Only prequel change I remember was CGI Yoda and Phantom Menace. There are a few small ones here and there, especially whenever the Blu-rays came out. But it's a lot of smaller type stuff. Bayverse Megatron should have always been Frank Welker. Michael Bay saying that his Megatron voice is too cartoony, but then brings in Frank Welker in for Soundwave. That voice is maybe more cartoony. I disagree. I love Frank Welker. He's awesome, but he should not have been Megatron in the movies, or at least not to start with. His voice really would not have fit 07 Megatron. I'm sorry. Hugo Weaving's voice just really fit what that character started off as. And as much as I do think he's good in The Last Night, I do feel like it kind of shows it that he does sound a little too cartoony. And Austin, I think that's something that you've mentioned too. And I mean, Soundwave, if they did the vocoder, I could maybe see where that would have been a bit cartoony, but as it was, it's just a normal Dr. Claw,
Soundwave acknowledges.
I think that worked in the movie. Damn, my voice. Lockdown versus Scourge versus 07 Megatron versus Sentinel. Who would win? I'm going to say 07 Megatron 100%. Sideways 52. I can separate G1 fans who accept change with the franchise with G1ers who hate everything that's not G1 Beast Wars series. Yeah, no, me too. That's why I don't like lumping them all together. I just don't think that's fair. Jurassic Prime Halo says Dark of the Moon is my favorite Transformers film. Don't hate G1, but I don't agree with them hating the other timelines, especially the Bayverse. All completely fair. Christian Prime, hey bro, it's 4:30. Yeah, it's past. It's 4:43, so I will be getting off of here soon. So if you guys have any last things to ask and stuff, go ahead and get it out, and then we'll kind of, peter off, I guess, and then get out of here. Last Night Barricade is better than 07. Oh my god. Sorry, Mecha Orion, but I do not agree at all. The Last Night Barricade is too much of a caricature design, in my opinion. The first movie was like, oh, he's a bad cop, but let's show that through a bit more of his personality and stuff. And I feel like, you could argue Barricade doesn't have much personality, but I feel like that comes through. Last Night Barricade is just like, oh look, he's got a badge, he's got some he's got some cuffs, he's got a baton, oh ha ha, look, and even the concept art having shades. It's an okay design, but I feel like it is so inferior compared to the 07 design. like drastically so. Here's my hot take. This is from Zodiac. I prefer the Transformers as protoforms on Cybertron rather than having the typical G1 colorful bodies and vehicle modes. I could get behind that. I do think there probably should be a bit of color, but yeah, I could get behind that. Hugo Weaving is an underrated Megatron. It sucks that you didn't like that role. I agree, and like I would. It's hard because like I don't think it's necessarily that he disliked the role. It just didn't really have much meaning to him, which does suck to hear. But like I feel like it's fair. Like you basically just recorded some lines over Skype. Like I don't think he ever went to a premiere or anything, and you know that'd be like me having you guys record some lines or something, and that's just it, you know. So like I get it. Hey, for Cinema Arts 87, I want to throw out there, apparently Liam Neeson was never actually considered to be Optimus Prime. It was only ever to use him as a basis for like the physicality of the character, like for from movements, how Optimus carried himself. Because a lot of stuff going out there is that like they were going to cast Liam Neeson, or that Optimus's face design was based on Liam Neeson, and that's not really the case. Transformers Prime's what I think Transformers should be. Transformers Bayverse mixed with G1, like Optimus Prime colors and mixed with flames with G1. I mean, that's fair. Prime does have a good aesthetic and a great way of going about things. So. Wish that Prowl would appear in the live-action movie. He could have been in Dark of the Moon and have a fight with Barricade. That'd be cool. Our worlds are in danger. Hell yeah, they are. At Talon Productions, this is from the Hob channel. How do you feel about the change to Greedo scene and A New Hope and the whole fan movement again? I think it's dumb, low-key. I do think having Han just shoot Greedo does a lot more for his character. And, you know, the whole Greedo shooting first and then Han, like, moving his neck unnaturally to get out of the way is just weird. And then the multiple changes to it since then of having it be faster, like, I don't know. I also just feel like it just makes Greedo look like a fucking dumbass that he can't hit somebody point blank. But it is what it is. Have you read... Brendan says, have you read any... Or Brandon, excuse me. Have you read any of the Marvel Comics Transformers? I have not. I've really just seen, like, random panels here and there, but I have not. Mecha Orion, not exactly Transformers, but Pirates of the Caribbean. I didn't mind Dead Men Tell No Tales. Salazar isn't a bad villain. So, I love Pirates of the Caribbean. I'd love to cover it more on the channel. But... I also did not mind Dead Men Tell No Tales. There's a lot of similarities between it and The Last Night, in my opinion, especially with the, you know, kind of disregard for continuity here and there. But Salazar, I think, is one of the best villains in the series. He might be my second favorite after Davy Jones. I like Salazar. He's very intimidating. Yeah, like his design was cool. The whole, like, you know, they kind of keep the state that they died in, so like the underwater hair look was awesome. Why am I forgetting the actor's name? Oh my god. It's gonna piss me off because someone's either gonna say it in the chat or I'm gonna think of it later and I'm gonna be like, God, why didn't I remember? But he's super good. If any other continuity could get a film adaptation, which one would you choose? I'm not sure if I want a film adaptation of a specific continuity. I kind of like it when they just do it in general. And that's a thing I think people miss about the Bayverse. It was an adaptation of the concept of the franchise as a whole, not a single version. Hey Jay, always kind of felt like the people who go out of their way to hate on the Bayverse are low-key mad that casual audiences like/love those movies, or at least the trilogy. I agree. There are people that treat hating the Bayverse like it's a personality. And it's kind of sad to see. I think Triton. I think there's a chance Bay would have cast Walker as Megatron if Prime had existed. His Prime Megatron voice is such a step up from G1 Megatron's voice that I think even Walker himself agrees. Yeah, if Prime existed, I think there would have been a higher chance, especially because like hearing Frank Welker do kind of the G1 Megatron voice in like the video games is kind of rough. I'm not gonna lie. Because I think that's what Michael Bay was hearing. So especially from that point of view, it'd just be like, nah, not doing that. Transformers Fast and Furious crossover would be awesome. I disagree, if only because I really don't like Fast and Furious. The Hot Wheels franchise, not a fan. Austin says Weaving is a thespian, highly trained, so being an actor snob for him makes sense. Yeah, that's fair. At least he turned out a great performance. Yes, he did. Say all you want about him not caring about the role or whatever, but he did a great job in it. Cyberlight, hot take. Frank Welker should have voiced Megatron in the first 3 movies. I disagree. That might not be too much of a hot take, but I wholeheartedly disagree. R Productions, hello, is this the Krusty Crow? No, this is Patrick. If Liam did voice Prime, I imagine a voice similar to Qui-Gon, his character from Taken. Oh yeah, I could definitely see that. Arctic Warriors, yeah, Han shot first. Barricade replaced Prowl and Michael Bay's Transformers. He explains that in the behind the scenes of the very first movie. McClunky. I'd be curious to see what Corey Burton would have done if he voiced Shockwave in Dark of the Moon. Would have been neat, I guess. Although it's like, given what we know about Shockwave's role, it probably would have been just a waste of time. There we go, Javier Bardem. God damn it! Ugh. I don't know why I forgot his name because I love Javier. That bothers me. Neo Decade says, do you like G.I. Joe, or what do you think of its crossover with Transformers? I only like it because of Snake Eyes. I don't really care for G.I. Joe. I have some degree of like for it because my dad likes G.I. Joe, or at least he liked it. And I mostly only care for like the bad guys. Like Cobra Commander's cool, Destro's cool, Storm Shadow. Obviously I like Snake Eyes, but you know he's not a villain. I thought the 2 live-action movies, they weren't great, but they're fun. And in terms of crossovers for Transformers, I don't really care for it personally. From what I've gathered, it's been decently done in the comic books and stuff, but like that stinger for Rise of the Beast, I did not care for it, and I'm really glad that it doesn't seem to be going anywhere, because it really just feels like, hey, let's try to attach a sort of dying franchise onto one that's still doing decently well. Mecha Orion, hey, also played Silver. Oh yeah, Skyfall, another villain, No Country for Old. Yep, love No Country for Old Men, super good movie. G1 is played out as fuck, man. I'd love to see different interpretations of the Transformers. I agree. Eric M, the Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Wii version is underrated, excuse me. I haven't played it, so I can't say. From what I've gathered, like I know people have, or what am I trying to say? I've heard it wasn't great, but I mean, I haven't looked into it at all, so I can't really say. But yeah. And hey, I don't know how many Jurassic Park / World fans we have in here, but I did make a new purchase last night. I was out at Target, and I found the Hammond Collection Spinosaurus. So that was pretty cool. Because he is one I did want, even though I don't really care for Jurassic Park 3 a whole lot, and I don't care for the way they tried to make the Spinosaurus such a big deal. But I do like this toy a lot. It's pretty cool. Let's see, I like Bayverse Starscream. He's like a hunchback villain stooge. I also like Bayverse Starscream. I do prefer him a bit more when he's a badass, like in 07 though. So cool. How about a Transformers / Power Rangers crossover? I don't care for Power Rangers, so it wouldn't do anything for me. I love Ironhide's design in the Bay films. Me too. Spinosaurus! I fell asleep watching Rebirth. Terrible. Ah, dude, I fucking love Rebirth. It's not the best movie in the world. I feel like at the very least it's better than Dominion and Fallen Kingdom, even though there are things in those movies I like. But Rebirth, I thought it was just a fun movie, you know? It's not great, but I definitely wouldn't say it's bad or terrible or anything like that. Never watched the movies, but I love dinos. Yeah, I love dinosaurs. I wanted that ever since the line started. Yeah, I know Spinosaurus was one that a lot of people were all for.
only watch the first JP movies. Honestly, Hom, that might be the best way to go. Even though I like a lot of the other movies, the first two I think are easily the best. Austin says Rebirth is bad. I disagree. I don't think it's great, but I don't think it's bad either. I just feel like it's very average. Dark of the Moon Soundwave is the best movie Soundwave design. I don't know, man. I really like Revenge of the Fallen a lot. Dark of the Moon is good though. Don't get me wrong. And it's better than the Super G1 Bumblebee movie design. Jurassic Park 3 is the only Jurassic Park / World film I dislike. Interesting. Okay, so that means you like it less than Fallen Kingdom or Dominion. To be honest though, I can understand that. Jurassic Park 3 can be a fun time, but it's really not all that great. I'd say Rebirth is better too. Maybe that's a hot take and maybe a triggering one for some people. Cyberlight, how would you rank the Jurassic Park / World films from worst to best? So I'd probably put Dominion at bottom, then Fallen Kingdom, then 3, then Rebirth. Okay, wait. So Rebirth and Jurassic World, the first Jurassic World, are kind of equal for me. So like Dominion, Fallen Kingdom, Rebirth / World, or Dominion, Fallen Kingdom 3, Rebirth / World, then Lost World, then the original Jurassic Park. I don't think there's any world where anyone puts the original movie below any of the other movies. Yes, or let's see. I feel like Jurassic World sequel trilogy is overhated. I agree. I don't really think they're all that bad. Like, even though I put Dominion and Fallen Kingdom at the bottom, I don't think they're like the worst things in the world. They're definitely flawed. Dominion especially, because like I think the first half or so of Fallen Kingdom is actually pretty decent, and it's got a great opening with like the horror vibes. I love that. Okay, nah, Rebirth isn't a Jurassic movie. I mean, again, I disagree. I like the mutant stuff a bit better than the hybrid stuff at the very least. Because, like, granted, I like the Indominus Rex, the Indoraptor's okay, but the whole idea of, like, these guys just turned out wrong, I think that's more likely to happen with, genetic cloning and experimentation. So. The Revenge of the Fallen, Power, or Jetfire. Wait. Oh, wait. Okay, so I have a legitimate hot take that might get me banned from the community. Upon rewatch, I prefer animated over Prime. Hey, man! It's what you prefer. More power to you. I can understand it even if I disagree. Revenge of the Fallen, Jetfire, Power Up, Optimus is an awesome design. Yes, I love it. It's my favorite powered up, combined mode, whatever you want to call it. For Optimus. JP3 is better than Rebirth. I disagree. I get a lot more fun and stuff out of Jurassic Park 3. Jurassic Park 3 is a leaner film, and you get in and out pretty good. It's got good stuff to it, don't get me wrong. I just prefer Rebirth. Speaking of dinos, I'm split on the Dinobots Age of Extinction. They've got cool designs, but wish they had more screen time considering they were a big part of the marketing. That's fair. I feel like a lot of people agree with that. That's probably one of the biggest complaints about Age of Extinction. I feel like they're fine for what they are. They just should have been in it more. But especially when it's a almost 3-hour long movie, and they come in within the last half hour. I will say though, at the very least, they are consistently there once they're introduced. Not much, but it's something. All right, guys, we are going to be wrapping up here in a few minutes. So I'll say maybe if there's something you really want to ask or a hot take you want to put out there, go ahead and say it. Otherwise, maybe just save it for another time as I'm getting through these last few things. Austin says 93 Lost World, JP3 World / Rebirth, and Dominion Fallen Kingdom. I mean, hey, all completely fair. Jurassic Park or Jurassic World, which film is better? Dude, Jurassic Park. There's no competition. The original Jurassic Park is one of the best movies of all time, at least in my opinion. I like Jurassic World a lot, but Jurassic Park is like a 10 out of 10 movie where like I'd say World is probably around an 8. So still pretty good. Damn, it really gets me though how good the head sculpt on this Spinosaurus is. Awesome stuff, man. Love it. Let's see, I actually like Dominion more than Fallen Kingdom and Rebirth. We didn't get any ridiculous generic monsters. I mean, to a point, that's fair. Although I kind of argue that the was it the Giga, that he's kind of generic, especially when it's like, damn, he didn't even have this like the personality of like a Spinosaurus, which was kind of a generic monster, but at least it was very aggressive. The Giga literally was treated as the bad guy, touted as the Joker beforehand, and then did absolutely fucking nothing. Like, at the very least, the D-Rex, the Distortus Rex from Rebirth, at least it had an interesting design, at least in my opinion, interesting, even though it didn't do much. Because I like the D-Rex a good bit. Let's see, I easily love The Lost World. Jurassic Park considered to be my favorite sequel. Oh yeah, 100% Cyberlight. Easily. Eric M. I like the hybrid dinosaurs like the Indominus Rex and the Indoraptor. I want to see more. I mean, I like them too. It's just so funny that people kind of hate on that aspect of the franchise when it's like, to me, that's the logical route to go with things. So like, I don't know. Christian Prime, hot take, B127 from 1 is good and one of the best Bs ever. Also one of my favorite incarnations. That's fair. I could see that being a bit more of a hot take. At the very least, I'll say it's warm. I liked him more, in the movie proper compared to how they were portraying him beforehand. He has moments of being a bit annoying, but I don't mind him. And, I think that Keegan-Michael Key did a good job in the role. Yeah, Zodiac says I like Lost World more than the original. Oh wow, so I do like the Lost World. I love that one. Definitely my favorite Jurassic Park sequel. Let's see, damn, I have a super spicy hot take. Okay, Triton, I'm gonna save it for next time, so I'll drop a cold one. Bryce Dallas Howard in the Jurassic World trilogy is yummy, thick, mommy. Oh yeah, dude. Bryce Dallas Howard, definitely one of my celebrity crushes. She's awesome. Still haven't seen Dominion, but the one thing I know is that the Giga was underused. Oh yeah. And again, treated far worse when the Giga was just an animal. Granted, I didn't really like the Giga, going out of its way to bully Rexy for like the deer body or whatever, but it is what it is. I don't know. I'm just like, at least the Indominus Rex was like like a sadistic asshole, so you wanted to see it go down. To a degree, I kind of felt bad for the Giga because it's just like, damn, you just kind of exist, and you were hated for it. Arctic Warriors, I rank them Jurassic Park, Jurassic World 3. Oh wow, so Dominion in second best. 3 is Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, then Lost World, then Dominion, then a tie between 3 and Rebirth. Huh, interesting. Hob channel, so Stinger will remain untransformed. Unfortunately, I just reached a point where I was just like, damn, like, it's not really a hard transformation, but it is complex, and I was just like, I don't feel like doing this right now. So that's my laziness, Hob. I apologize for that. But the next time we do a stream, I'll do him then, I promise. Because this is a fun toy. I do like the transformation. I mean, the car mode, fantastic. And the robot mode, again, fantastic. Insert the meme from Fant Four Stick of, say that again. Which protagonist was better, Alan Grant or Ian Malcolm? I love both. I don't know, because Ian Malcolm has a bit more of the personality, but I love Alan Grant, so that's a tough one for me. Hey, y'all stay away from Bryce Dallas Howard. She's mine. Damn. But but the big old mommy milkers, bro.
I will say that hopefully the Giganotosaurus gets justice in the canon Jurassic World series. Oh, the Jurassic World Chaos Theory season 4. There you go, Savage. If you're still here, there's your animated show call out. Grant was good for JP and Malcolm for Lost World. That's fair. Oh God, not fan for sick. Ruined my absolute favorite Marvel. God, that movie. That's one of the movies I genuinely hate. There are very few movies where I say that. I can always find something, at least kind of redeeming. But Fantastic sucks. They just fucking ruined Doctor Doom, dude. Fucking like he looked like an angry C-3PO with a trash bag. God, he sucks so fucking bad. Neo Decade, kind of funny how Bumblebee says he hated cheap knockoffs, but he proceeded to copy Stinger's body. Yeah, that the way they went about that was so weird. I almost would have preferred if Bumblebee just got that design somehow, and that's what they copied. Because like I could maybe see it's like, I copied this body to prove that even when I take on your less good form, I'm still better. But like, that's more of a. I mean, you could definitely infer stuff with the movies, but I don't know. That's one of those things where I feel like you're doing the work for it. Also, mentioning Doctor Doom, I need to show off this sometime. It's the Mezco 112th Doctor Doom. I got this last year. This guy is pretty fucking cool. Made out of mostly die cast. I know it's not showing up well, but like he has like a fuck ton of accessories. He literally has a spell book that each individual page has writing on it. Like it's super cool. I love this thing. Doctor Doom is my favorite Marvel villain. That's why it hurt even more to see what they did to him in Fantastic. And all right, guys, we are going to be wrapping it up. So I'll do the last bit here with the chat. Peak fiction mention. There we go. Why was that so hard for me? Can't wait for season 4. Cyberlight says, am I the only one who thought that Ellie should have taken Alan's role in JP3 since it would be neat to have Alan as a protagonist of 1993, Ian in Lost World, and her in 3. Oh, that could be cool. I mean, definitely have to do like a decent bit of a rewrite, but yeah. RDJ's Doom, or as Dr. Doom, was wild. Doom in that movie looked like me, but somehow 10 times worse and on meth. How do you make him look so trash? Yeah, he's bad. Eric M, I have to go. Hey, man, it's been fun. Hope you had a good time. I mean, you know what, guys? I feel like this will, that's a good place to probably go ahead and end it. Like I said, I got to get going here. It's been 2 hours and 42 minutes. Left House like, this will be one of the shortest ones, and now it's, I think, the second longest. I still think last week's stream was more. But, yeah, guys, it's been fun. I've had a great time answering everybody, just talking about whatnot. Quick thing, Hog Channel says, the things designed in Fantastic is my favorite. You know what? It's not bad. I feel like him being nude the whole time was weird, but it's not bad. But, again, thank you all for joining. I've had a wonderful time here. It's been great. Thank you, everybody, for joining, and we'll definitely do it again sometime. It's funny. I know I said, like, this wouldn't become an all-the-time thing, but now I've done it every freaking like three weekends in a row. So we'll see. But yeah, in the meantime, just stay tuned for the shorts and stuff coming out, and we'll do another stream soon, whether it's another hot takes or maybe just a hangout and chill. Granted, all of these are kind of hangout and chill, or another live bill if I get YOLO Park soon. Again, we'll see. I'm just kind of rambling at this point. Have a good day, everyone. And we'll do it again soon. Thanks for joining. Bye.